5% of the people of the world live in the United States, but we consume 40% of the resources. No matter what damage we do to the earth or other people.
Could have us fighting one another instead of the real monster separated through the vision of race, sex, and religion. Don't you go against the system, cause they lock you back in prison. This world ain't nothing that you ever envision. A place in which you can't trust the police, doctors, the politicians. They only care for the dollars, not they care with how you're living. Acting like they combat enemies, but they the true villains. These doctors with prescriptions, now there's millions addicted. Is ignorant to disease, they got billions infected, or is it done by design? Some type of evil intentions to keep us standing in line. And never dare to ask questions, put it in war for your mind. And ain't the time to be guessing. We educate our young, cause every knowledge they oppress us since the beginning of time. Just to make you feel that's just the way you stand up and rise against the oppressor.
And welcome back to another great night here on the Freedom Revolution Network. This is Clarity After Dark. I am your host, Scarlet Anonymous. My co-host, Red Gypsy, will be here with me soon. Tonight is Saturday, the March 14th, 2020. Coming into, some people are still on Friday the 13th. What a day it's been. Tonight is a night of nights. Tonight is the night we've told you about here on Clarity After Dark for 5 years. This is something that we knew could happen. This is something that we've talked about, that we've worked things out with, that we've been reporting about, especially in particular coronavirus, since January 25th. We were one of the first people out there talking about this and what this could mean if this came here. It is now on our door. We are now in a state of emergency for the whole United States and multiple states across the country where it's almost getting impossible to even keep up with, are at this point affecting our ability to keep our freedoms. And that's what we're going to talk about a lot tonight. And what does this mean for all of us? What will America look like? Because the time to be alarmed is now, but not panic. Alarm is different than panic. Alarm is having a greater sense of concern. Okay. So we are sitting on the precipice of potentially martial law starting in many communities, and it is tonight even as we speak. We knew that this could be a possibility as we watch city after city in China shut down, from Wuhan to Xinjiang to Beijing itself, Hong Kong, systematically shut down and impose all types of restrictions for travel, social distancing measures, restrictions for hospitals, funerals, the way you buy and sell food, just being out of your home in general. You know, their whole way of life has changed, and that has not went back to normal quite yet. Now, they are talking in the last few days about how they're going to bring back manufacturing online after they've declared the first wave over. How they come to that conclusion, I don't know. But what we know now is that it was going to be something that could come here, maybe come here, possibly come here, right? But now it's here. And people's reactions right now are something historical, to say the least. Some people may think it's ridiculous in general, hysterical in general. But I don't think being prepared right now is a bad idea. As we scroll through our social media feeds, everywhere is showing mass sellouts of food. and supplies. And stores are bare, empty shelves with completely just about everything. And we've told you about these scenarios. What actually happens if people get to the point of panic buying, how quickly store shelves are decimated. We're seeing measures taken to close schools, to close hospitals, to close the NBA, the NHL. These type of measures have not been done since World War II. This is a global war at this point, regardless of how you feel about the virus itself, whether the virus is 5G induced, bioweapon, came from bats. I don't care what you think at this point. The point remains is how everyone, governments, officials, and now individuals are reacting. And this is something that we've always been concerned is for everybody else who isn't quote unquote woke, how they react to a disaster or response. We've seen a small version of this during things like hurricane season, during natural disasters, but this is now nationwide, and we've never dealt with something like this on a national scale at a time where people in America are divided more than ever. What does that look like now when people can't even get along to even speak to each other, on the internet, let alone have a national crisis where we might have to change our habits for a short amount of time to then curb the virus, okay, if it is the virus, right? But these extreme measures that I think that they're taking at this point are martial law. And the fact that we need to take these measures in America, every good patriot should be on red alert tonight. You have people like Laura Wells and Mark Elkin stating that it is time now to put out the 2-week warning. And with that 2-week warning, it is time to start getting everything together that you would like to be in your position to ride this out. And that is something that everybody needs to think about. We told you a month ago to start enacting your plan, Ron and I did, and to get your preparedness plans in place and start thinking about what you would need to do and what that would look like and whether you would bug in the city or out somewhere else. But this weekend is the time. There are rumors and things floating around talking about complete quarantine in the next few weeks. My child's school was canceled today due to an exposure of coronavirus at a different school, so the whole district shut down, the only district in my state to do so. We also declared a state of an emergency today in my state. Lots of things are going on. Italy had its largest jump in deaths with 1,600 deaths in one day. Spain is now under a state of emergency and lockdown because they had 354 more deaths. We're seeing something around the world that is unprecedented. And there are measures that needed to be taken a while ago, like stopping air travel and doing these things that I know affects the economy. But how badly have we affected the economies when we have to grind them to a complete halt now? Okay. Now there's no commodities for people even. Older people and people who don't have a lot of money and who are on budgets can't even find the items that they need because people just didn't go out and get what you needed. People are buying overabundance of things. Now there's a difference between preparation and hoarding. And a lot of people right now are hoarding. And that type of behavior needs to stop before people start to get violent and angry because there are no commodities, and then they start trying to come after you for said commodities. Because I see that happening soon. Hello, Red. Welcome in.
Hi.
I see that happening soon. With the amount of things not available, I see that as the next step. So I think if people can, over the next 2 weeks, I get if you have to go to work, but if you got any extra sick days, you might want to use those. If everybody can try to just lay back and not interact and socially mix with each other, I think we'll be a lot better off. But some schools are already closed now through April. Even elementary schools. There's so many things. Like, I don't think, like I told you yesterday, I don't think we could literally list all the closures and all of the things that have been implemented in the last 24 hours, 48 hours, even the last week since we've been on air. I don't think we could. It's happening lightning speed. As soon as you turn around, there's a new celebrity, there's a new thing closing, there's a new industry having an issue. It has undeniably been a day. I mean, it has been absolutely insane. Also, DOD bans all domestic travel for personnel and families amid coronavirus. So military is no longer allowed to travel as of now. So this is out of control at this point. We need to think about the plans that we're going to have, what it looks like for your families for the next few weeks. How do we protect each other for the next few weeks? And if this lasts longer than just 2 weeks, what does that now start to look like so we can still retain some form of rights? I get understanding for infection control purposes wanting to shut things down, but I'm very afraid about abuses of power right now.
Oh shit! Hey, get out of here! Get out of here!
So, I mean, something's obviously going on at Reds. But I'm very concerned right now about the response. I'm beyond concerned. People's reactions are unprecedented, like I said before. What are people going to do if tonight you need to be in your home for 2 weeks and they say national quarantine, only allowed out to go to maybe work and home, and even further, potentially only essential work at a certain point and home. What does that look like? I don't know if people are ready for that. People haven't even thought about this. There's so many people today needing to absorb all of this information. And now they're having to process, a month and a half of information in a day and having to decide what are we going to do? Netflix, a person at Netflix had caught it, and immediately the whole building got up and left as soon as they found out that the coworker's husband tested positive, and everybody left and they just emptied out the building. I mean, we've never seen anything like this. I mean, do we stop air travel? Should we have done this or that? Yeah, I think we should have a long time ago. And we've told you that here because of the information that we've had. This is something that I didn't think we would see over this type of situation. But now that we're here, it's intense. They're talking about the worst case estimate for U.S. deaths, potentially, 1.7 million people. Between 200,000 and 1.7 million. And between 160 million and 214 million people will be infected over the course of the epidemic. potentially up to 21 million people needing hospitalization, which our hospitals cannot handle at all. At all. Let me see where I read that. What's this? Let's see. Oh, I take. What is going on? I'm trying to get Red to come on. Red, can you get yourself to come on? Does that help? Let me do that. Maybe that helps. Now see if you can get yourself like off this mute, because I can't. I'm about to break something over here actually. Because I like co-hosted you, so you should be able to like unmute it. Maybe I press it there. No. Try to come back into the come back on and see if that won't help you right now, because it won't unmute you. So we'll figure that out. We're gonna make this work. But this is why I'm concerned tonight. I don't think people were thinking about it from this angle at all. I think people wanted to ignore it until that they could no longer, till it's in their face. And usually for most things, that works. I'm trying to pull up the chat room right now. For this in particular, it does not, because you needed to be on top of the quarantines, on top of what's going to come your way, and on top of what is to come, the moves that the government are making. You know, do you want to be stuck where you are? What happens for apartment buildings or places of, you know, neighborhoods that people get infected? What if whole neighborhoods get infected? Are we going to be like New Rochelle, New York, and they surround all of us? Or will it be, you know, we don't know. Will they shut down whole apartment buildings that people live in, or high rises, or, you know, trailer communities, or what will they do? We don't know that answer. We've never seen this. Oh, hello, Red. Welcome back.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Sorry, we were dealing with farmland.
I know. That's a recurring theme lately. So, I'm looking at the chat right now, and MG Toe is saying, I've been preparing mentally for this since 2012. Yeah, I have too. That's about the same, I'd say 10 years I've been in this type of mindset, and it's unfortunate. We never thought it would be like this. It's a little bit different than the usual suspect of how we thought maybe martial law or national emergency would even be called. Casimirio says Trump should have done the travel ban since New Year's. I agree. They all knew something was going on. My local 3M representative was on the TV in January and was like, well, we knew in December when there was unusual virus activity in China, and we had sent a lot of our respirators to Australia at that point, but we knew that there was strange virus activity then. People have known about this for quite some time. Now we have information that the first case actually happened in November. So that is something to now pay attention to as well, because if the case is in November, you're talking a few more weeks than what was originally reported that this has been happening and going on. And that changes a lot of things. That changes how far it could have spread. that changes who could be infected, that changes way before lockdown times in China. That means it was spreading for over 2 months before even lockdown occurred. They say we're 11 days behind Italy, and that was about 2 days ago they came out with that information. So we have about 9 days to catch up, and they say it's going to explode. When you have Italy as number 2 in the world for healthcare and the United States as number 28, we're going to have some serious issues regardless. We're not equipped to handle acute cases like this. And the original cases that are being treated are still in the super, like in Nebraska at the bio-level containment centers where they have special rooms and this and that, and they have not let these people go yet. So if more people get sick, they're not going to these fancy places. It's going to be the regular hospital system taking the burden for these patients, and they cannot control that. And there's already nurses in New York saying we're scared because we don't have enough personal protective equipment. They're not giving us enough guidance. They're now telling people that they can take the blood samples from people with COVID without masks and not to worry about the extra personal protective equipment measures. I mean, this is insane. Like, what type of world are we living in? I'm very concerned. They're giving really bad advice and then saying a couple weeks down the line, oh, well, we're giving really bad advice, but, we're working on it. This is an evolving thing.
Well, they did also, too, just try to tell everybody that there's no way to boost your immune system.
Yeah, there were doctors.
Okay, let's fucking be serious.
Right. We both know that there are ways to boost the immune system, or why would you look at...
And said that vitamin C, especially, they specifically pinpointed vitamin C. Vitamin C does nothing against the coronavirus and nothing to boost your immune system. Listen, y'all, we have reports from China saying that the vitamin C is what is curing people.
Right. That high dose vitamin C and even oral, but IV is the best, but even oral and high dosages is helping combat the virus.
Yep.
But yet we have doctors who are in America saying, you can't boost your immune system. You can't boost your immune system. Yeah.
What do you mean? Since when can't we? We used to tell people to boost your immune system at flu season.
Well, even that, hold the phone. If you can't boost your immune system, then why would we take vaccinations or immunizations at all if you can't boost the immune system even artificially?
Right.
So I'm not listening to their crap. Not that I'm for vaccination, but just by their own logic, how would that work if you can't trigger your immune system to create a better response for yourself?
True.
Right. So, we've got these type of people running around, of which now they've moved to human trials already, because now that we've declared a state of emergency, the PrEP Act is involved, which now they can bring in any drug, any vaccine, anything, and now they don't have to do any testing. They get out of the red tape. Now we're getting untested treatments and vaccines because we're in a state of emergency.
Yep.
Even more dangerous. You're putting the lives of millions of Americans at risk, saying the benefit outweighs the risk to have drugs.
Even more dangerous are these people running around talking about how, vaccines should be mandated. Coronavirus is proof. How so? There's no vaccination.
Right.
There's nothing you could have taken to prevent this. So how does vaccines play into this anywhere?
Right. It's not even existing yet. And they're saying at least 18 months to a year. And then what? We don't know for sure. I don't care.
Originally, it would be 2 years. 2 years.
I don't care if they tested on 50 people in a clinic in Seattle right now and they say it shows improvement. That doesn't mean you release it to the population of the world or even the US population at 350 million people acting like it's supposedly safe. That's not a long enough test.
They
They
told
said
us
they tested it for
originally it would
years
be,
before it comes out.
they said 2 years before it would even be ready for human trials. That's what they told us.
Yeah. Oh, Lisa
Now all of a
in
sudden-
chat says Cleveland Clinic is testing all their employees starting today. Mm-hmm. And my hospital locked down, only one door in and out for patients starting today.
Now, things that I know. Okay. So our state declared state of emergency today as well.
Well, you've been under state of emergency, I think, for a couple days.
No, I think he just officially declared it today.
Okay.
But my thing being, I don't understand why. Now, and again, I'm not trying to underrate, okay? But listen, y'all, for those of you that don't know, I live in Colorado. We recently had a mumps outbreak here in Colorado at a
3
ski
days
resort
ago.
that like ran rampant, okay?
Three days ago, Polis declared a state of emergency in Colorado. 3 days ago.
Okay. So we had mumps run rampant through a ski resort. A whole bunch of cases, way more cases than coronavirus. We never even thought about calling a national emergency.
They didn't even shut down the ski resort.
They didn't even shut down the ski resort. They didn't even shut down the ski resort, y'all.
That's what
And they're still not shutting down the ski resort. And now it's got the mumps still running rampant with coronavirus going around.
Which, I mean, mumps is all right. I mean, I've had the mumps, and it's just like swollen glands, and, you know, you feel a little bit off, and, it, you know, you feel run down.
I'm just saying, we've had a huge mump outbreak at the ski resort, way more cases of mumps than the coronavirus.
Yeah.
And we didn't even blink an eye about it, really. I mean, it's been in the news. They've talked about it. They've told you, like, to steer clear or whatnot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I mean,
but they didn't declare no state of emergency. They didn't even close the ski resort. They still have not closed the ski resort.
No, still open. But yeah, everything else now is closing systematically all around the country. I mean, you name it, it's closed. You can find things closed.
Now, here's something odd too. Our governor says to us today in his little live press thing, right?
They're banning alcohol in New York and Illinois. Hold up. Y'all. I just said the other night I need booze for the coronavirus. They need to stop. See, look, they're already snatching our freedoms, you guys. What does alcohol have to do with the coronavirus? Why can't we get no alcohol during lockdown?
Right.
No. What if I needed it just for like disinfection? See, look, they're even trying to take it from us for disinfection purposes.
Yep. Oh, that's what we should have went. We should have went to the fucking liquor store. Oh, sorry. We should have went to the liquor store and I should have gotten some grain alcohol and I didn't.
I know. See? For tinctures and stuff. That's what I was thinking. Like,
I meant to and I forgot.
Yeah. Yeah. Washington Examiner, Illinois mayor signs executive order granting power to ban sale of guns and alcohol while addressing coronavirus.
New York just banned the sale of guns and alcohol during this.
Yeah, and Illinois.
Oh, shit.
Yep.
My AR.
Yeah, nobody was saying necessarily even for drinking, but for, you know, tincture purposes and, you know, antiseptic purposes and stuff. I wanted to have a bottle around at least for that. Yeah, now you know what you need to have for barter. Absolutely. If you're in a state right now who hasn't enacted this, you might want to do it because they're probably going to enact this in multiple states now since this is a thing.
Yep.
Yep. This is something else. This is like something we have never seen before.
This is craziness.
I mean, the shelves empty everywhere. No water, no toilet paper, no food now.
And again, We had a larger case of mumps going around than any state has probably seen in like a tremendous amount of time. People were not acting like this.
No, not even during snowstorms do people around here act.
No, and we're used to that shit. You know what I mean? Like we're used to like, oh, we're gonna get 20 inches of snow, and the people who aren't used to living here run out and buy everything.
Sure.
But we're used to that kind of
Leave it.
buyout, not like this. This is different. This is something totally different. And I don't even want to say that it's panic. It's not panic buying, dude. It's more like fear buying.
It is fear buying. It's beyond panic because the things that they're buying don't make sense. Okay, so I saw someone's cart, right? On one of these memes somewhere. You want to know what they had in their cart? 20-pound bags of rice, tuna, like 40 cans of tuna, and
Okay.
spaghetti sauce. What are you doing with that?
Tuna spaghetti rice surprise.
Yeah, that sounds gross.
I mean, hey, if you can eat it.
I mean,
You know, got a lot of stuff at home, and that's just like to go with the stuff they already have.
yeah. I mean, no, they said this was their preps. This is what they were getting for the 2 weeks to eat.
Oh
They
wow.
had a family. I was like, what are you making out of that? You know, I want people to make smart decisions if you still need food or need to come up with food. Please buy things that are edible. I mean, they may not be something you want to eat, but just buy edible things. Please.
Well, rice is edible.
Rice is edible. Okay, yes. But rice with what? You just going to eat plain rice? Like, we're not in, like, the extreme apocalypse. Like, there was stuff to buy, and you just buy rice?
I don't know.
I mean, that's the only thing. Like, buy some
Maybe they have a
bullion
rice
foods,
cooker, and
buy
that
some
way they
food.
plan on always having something available.
Yeah, I get that. But, like, there's just so many more things people could have bought that actually went together that I would feel like they're actually going to get nutrition. Because if they're not going to be eating quality foods during this time either, that's going to lower your immune system and then potentially put you at risk. So
Yeah, that's a true story. So shopping today was very much like Zombieland. Twinkie truck rating is just around the corner.
Oh, yeah. It was like that last night.
Yeah.
Even at my local, it was like that last night. And I had just been to the grocery store the week before. Now, I haven't been back to that grocery store. I need to go back there and see what's going on. But I heard people even in my local area having to go to like 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 different stores for toilet paper, waiting at it. People are waiting in lines outside of Target this morning for toilet paper before they opened.
Yep.
It was like apocalypse. I've never seen anything like it.
Well,
these people to buy toilet paper.
last week, we weren't really out of anything. We had plenty of everything, it seemed. And then today, everything was bare. Everything. The toilet paper was gone, obviously, but all the paper products, period.
There was a little toilet paper at our Walmart where you could like, there was rolls to buy. Okay, so there was a couple rolls to buy, but not much. No paper towel.
No paper towels. No Kleenex.
No Kleenex.
No
They had a
toilet
whole end cap of Puffs, so they did have some Kleenex.
No.
They had like the 3-packs. They did have that. No cleaning supplies.
Yeah, there were hardly any clean, but there was no dish soap.
There was a whole, but the only thing left was dish soap at mine. There was probably like 40 bottles of dish soap total, but there was dish soap. That was the only
There
thing.
was
I was like,
no
why are
dish
people
soap.
buying dish soap for hand soap? Because that's what I would do. If there's no other hand soap, I'm buying that Dawn antibacterial or some regular soap or something. Anything at this point, Ajax, I don't care. Like anything. But yeah, no, we had quite a few bottles. So Right.
Now, lucky for me, the only hands are the only dish soap that everybody decided to leave alone
Right.
was the Miss Myers.
Really?
Yeah, so I got my dish soap. I was good.
Right. They didn't have our dish soap that we use, so we had to buy something else that we're not happy with. But beggars can't be choosers at this point in time. So, yeah.
Yeah, so they hadn't really messed with the Myers very much. So there was like 3 different kinds of the Myers available, but that was about it on the shelf.
Right.
Dish soap. And then there was like hardly any freaking
David.
laundry soap. There was no laundry soap.
Oh, laundry soap. There were 2 little bottles of Persil, and that was it. So I ended up getting washing soda, borax, and then I got the Fells Naphtha bars so I can make my own detergent because there was no detergent.
Yeah, there wasn't any laundry soap.
Yeah.
And then
Laundry soap was not something that I thought would go, to be honest.
no.
I thought people would just buy laundry soap like normal, not buy out and act like I need all the laundry soap that ever was.
Right?
Like, I get buying maybe extra toilet paper, hoarding that, but the laundry soap? So, you know, I was thinking about going through like Shop Club if I can't keep finding laundry soap because they've been having it in stock. 'Cause at this point, I mean, laundry soap, all the cleaners,
Yeah.
vinegar, no bleach, and I've been saying
I
that.
had no problem with vinegar.
See, girl, I couldn't find no vinegar.
I had no problem with vinegar. I had no problem with vinegar. No problem with any fresh fruits or veggies.
Oh, no, I had no problem with that either. There was full fresh fruit and veg, but I've seen pictures on my timeline that it was decimated in other areas. So no fresh fruit and veg. Friend of mine here said that the Minnetonka store had no fresh fruit or veg, no meat, no nothing, no canned goods, no nothing. So, I mean, it's interesting to see what the differences are because also, again, if people aren't eating healthy, you're more susceptible. I tried to grab as much fresh fruit and veg as I could because it's like, if we're locked down, like, that's the one thing I want is like fresh fruits and vegetables and get that fresh taste, you know? I don't want packaged things. But there wasn't any of that either. I mean, you couldn't even get packaged things. You know, I mean, it was ridiculous. Yeah, and Birdie Beetle art. Yeah, you don't have to get antibacterial soap, but that pretty much seemed to be the only thing left was like our washing up liquid that was there was Dawn antibacterial. So I mean, you could use that if that's your only choice. But yeah, just even regular bar soap works. I mean, you know, people were actually going to the store and saying, "There's no soap. Where have you been?" You know, the media, people keep saying that there's all this media hysteria, but they sure aren't reporting on the right things. You know, that's the case because people should be aware that this is happening.
There was absolutely no canned anything.
No, there was no canned anything.
There was no baking powder.
I had gotten that like a month ago. I got all like the flour.
No baking powder, no sugar, no flour.
Yeah, I got all that a month ago.
No bread. There was no bread.
I have 1.5 loaves of bread.
Barely any honey.
I have a little bit of honey from when I made fire cider, but that's about it.
It was kind of like what there were so many people that were just wandering around. Like it wasn't packed, and for being a Friday, that is a payday, and I'm used to going on Saturdays actually. But I go on Saturday because Friday it's so daggone packed. Okay. Or I mean, I go on Saturday, yeah, because Friday it's so packed. Well, it was not packed. The amount of people in the Walmart did not at all attain for the amount of empty shelves in Walmart.
No.
Okay.
Nope. It's surreal going in there because you know what it usually looks like. Full and
Right.
bustling and, you know, overflowing with supplies. And then you go in there and it's like literally like it's like a bad movie. It's like a sci-fi movie or one of those creepy drama thrillers. Like it's like
And
a
their
dream.
truck doesn't come in till Wednesday. So what's gone is gone till Wednesday.
Wow. I hope people got food.
Now, where we went then to Legree's. And they were not really out of hardly anything. They were out of toilet paper, but she said that was actually a very recent development
Right.
that they were out of toilet paper. And their truck comes tomorrow.
Okay. That's not cheap.
But they still had paper towels and Kleenex and bread. Oh, no eggs. I can't find eggs.
Eggs. I needed eggs and I totally forgot to get eggs. And I'm like freaking out because I wanted to make like baked goods. But so our local gas station chain around here carries eggs really cheap. I'm hoping to find them there because I'm thinking nobody will go there. But maybe everybody's thinking like me now and goes there to get them. So I don't know.
Right.
That's why I didn't say the name. But people should know that cheap place where they sell like produce and cheap ground beef. People know.
Right.
Someone gets zapped with that either because we say too many names, we get zapped too. But nothing. There's nothing. I've never seen anything like this. Milk sold out. Where are you storing all this milk? Milk goes bad.
Oh, now milk was in no shortage at either of my places.
Wow.
It's like different stuff.
Yeah, it's like different stuff in different places.
It is different stuff in different places. And it's interesting to see what's out in different.
How do you guys in the land of dairy be out of milk when us over here are not?
Bruh, people be on top of their dairy products. Okay. But I'm just glad I have the farm because I can at least, I'm bringing containers. I'm just wait. I'm gonna bring some stuff. I'm gonna make some yogurt so I have some probiotics. You know, I need things at this point. So at least I can get milk. But that's
No powdered
Oh,
milk.
and I can get eggs too because I'm gonna ask. Yeah, I'm asking when I go to the farm because
No
there's
powdered milk.
no powdered milk at ours either at our grocery store. Like, and that was like 4 days ago. We got the last two
Even the
boxes.
goat's milk was gone. Even the powdered goat's milk was gone.
Right. Our Cub, TLO, our Cub was the one that didn't have nothing. That was the issue. The Cub didn't have nothing. Cub was all sold out. We got the last 2 boxes of powdered milk at Cub. They didn't have nothing. Now
I got the last bag of flour in all of Walmart, and only because my husband was tall enough to see it on the top shelf.
Right. You're right though, TLO. Yeah, you know what? Folks over there probably ain't going to buy stuff like that. Like, you're right. I got you. But it's crazy. Everybody said frozen vegetables in certain places were gone, like pizzas were gone, like all that type of stuff just decimated, gone. Where are people like? People have been buying deep freezers. I mean, it's just been going next level, which I get. But this is why we've been telling people to prepare for years. And everybody thought, oh, tinfoil hat, wear tinfoil hat. Who's tinfoil hat now?
You think people would
I always said we wore them proudly because of moments like now. You know, I mean, just even having the ability to be thinking about it. There's still people tonight on my newsfeed like, I should have went out and got toilet paper or extra food, and now I have nothing. Okay. Where have you been? You haven't just been regular grocery shopping? Like, this was not the time to slack on.
Well, but in all fairness, too, for those that live paycheck to paycheck,
Yeah, you can't. But aren't you
No.
going regular shopping though? Like,
yeah, but this would still be the day that they went regular shopping.
right.
And think about it, I do my shopping once a week. Last week, my store was fine.
True.
I walked in there this Friday, which is a day earlier than I normally go, and it was decimated.
Which is good that you went, because yeah. I mean, I'm
Right.
concerned for like and we knew, you know, if you guys, a lot of you guys have followed me.
And there's a lot of us out here that only go shopping once in a whole month.
There are a lot of people who do once a month hauls. But if you followed Ron and I for a while, I also feel that this just happens to be coinciding with food crops losses and food shortages that I felt were going to coincide around this time of year anyway, because this is when the USDA usually gives us the crop report for the last year. And I felt like they were going to admit shortages this year. Well, now because of coronavirus, they don't have to. Because they can say, well, the people bought it all up, disrupted the chain, blah, blah, blah. And they don't have to give us results. So do stores get restocked? I've been seeing rumors, and I saw a sign that said Aldi were going to be closing as a corporation March 21st. And that right now there's limits of 4 canned goods per person. Now, if that's true, that's going to be huge. A lot of people depend on Aldi for their food shopping because it's cheap. And if there's no Aldi because the supply chain is completely decimated.
There was a lot of little tags at Walmart that said temporarily out of stock.
Right.
And we never see those little tags.
Right. Yeah, in Australia, they did release the $750 stimulus package, which I wish they would do here in America. They need to do something.
Well, I think he was talking about something similar.
Yeah, they were just talking about for like loans and stuff for small businesses, but nothing as far as like monetary stimulus, like not yet. People who get sick who have the
okay. Maybe that hasn't been announced. That's just the thing that's going around with the national shutdown room.
Yeah, and so they are they're in Australia though, they're giving everybody extra money. So Birdie says that she shops every 2 weeks or fortnightly due to government assistance, and she's been buying a little extra for months, but she's got 3 hungry teens who just ate more food because it was there, and she has nowhere to store extras. You know what? Red fills that story, don't you, Red?
Yes, because see, I live in an RV. I don't have nowhere to store extra stuff. I have a farm. I've got all these dogs. I have all these cats. I live out of a cooler. How am I supposed to keep stuff for a month when I live out of a cooler because my cooler needs ice?
Right. Right.
And not just that, but this is why I go shopping once a week, because you don't want to keep shit in your cooler longer than a week.
Not really, no. I mean, I guess depends on what it is, but no.
I mean, condiments and stuff, that's one thing, but meats and stuff you do not want in there.
Oh, yeah, no. Absolutely not. So, yeah, it's putting a lot of people who do shop like weekly like that. And people like me, I usually go to the grocery store every couple of days. That's how we roll.
Yeah, but you live somewhere where you can do that, you know? For me, it's an hour drive.
But that still cuts in because we can't be going to the store every couple of days now. If this is happening, we kind of have to stretch it out.
Yeah.
Which then, changes the way we eat. And so that's the only issue I see with that too. It's changing a lot of our actual situations. It's changing a lot of our actual ways of living.
Right.
And people are going to either have to adapt and adjust or they don't.
Right.
And do they? Because people are already not adjusting well.
Right.
Okay, people are hoarding toilet paper. People are hoarding paper towels. People are hoarding cleaning supplies. You know, go out and get enough for your family. That's what I did. I just went out and got enough to where I thought, oh, okay, I don't have a lot of these things, so let me just kind of stock up. I'm not
Right.
out here buying like, you know, the world's full of toilet paper. You know,
No,
now
I
people are
wanted a
seeing
pack
baby
of
wipes
toilet
are
paper,
coming on.
man, to get me through the next week.
Right. And now baby wipes are even gone. Families with, you know, small babies
Oh, yeah.
having issues because they don't even have wipes now.
Yep.
Dang, I can't imagine still
Now, I don't have babies, but I do buy baby wipes every week because I live off grid.
Right. Could you find baby wipes? Oh yeah, you said you did, but you bought a brand new and never bought it before and it was expensive. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Mavina sensitive skin things.
Right. You know, and the disinformation and the things that are going on and the way people are just ignoring it, right? And just acting like, oh, it doesn't exist, doesn't bother me, I shouldn't prepare. What are they going to do when they go out to the store when they're actually ready to get things and now there's nothing? And I think a lot of people are realizing that now.
Yeah, sure.
Because, I mean, literally every store, everywhere. I'm literally just scrolling down and it's like everywhere. You know, no paper towels, you know, no food.
Right.
You know, I'm surprised bakery items were still there in mass because you could freeze a lot of bread if you had room in the freezer.
Oh, there was no bread.
Oh, there was, you know, there was a lot of bread at mine still, and all like the little Debbie snack cakes and all that type of stuff. They had all that. They were still, that was still going strong. But other places it's decimated. But I mean, literally, the whole thing as I keep scrolling down my timeline is all of these different yeah, you know, restaurant supply is a good idea. I thought about that about 2 weeks ago to go get like rice and mashed potatoes and things like that to go to the actual food service places like Cisco, because like our local Cisco food service is open and available to the public. There's also a lot of other warehouse type places that might say, you know, do off sale to the public. So that is actually a good idea for some things in bulk that you could maybe use. You know, French fries, frozen stuff, stuff you could put in the air fryer, things like that. Or even dried products, dried milk, you know, things of that nature. But yeah, food service, that's a good idea. That's a wonderful idea.
Till they close it down.
Well, yeah, but at least you have a chance right now.
Yep. So get on it, people, because it's coming.
Yeah, Restaurant Depot, they have that here. Restaurant Depot, good place. They always have that type of stuff there. And then there's another like Italian restaurant that also has a little store that does like some wholesale type stuff too. Not a bad idea. Small boutique places, local places that might have like, you know, artisan pasta sauce and pasta. You might have to pick up on that type of stuff. You know, little restaurants that you know sell stuff going out the door, like 10 bean soup mix and stuff like that. You might need to go buy that type of stuff too. Get creative.
There was none of that either. There was no soup
But if you
mixes.
stopped at one of these like touristy places that's like a gift shop, there might be something like that in there. You see what I'm saying?
Oh.
That's the type of stuff I'm talking about. Like somewhere that you wouldn't think of, like a restaurant that when you go out the door, they sell, you know, jams or jellies or 12 bean soup mix and you buy something like that. You might have to get creative, but I think there's still stuff out there, but it's not going to be in your traditional places. Asian markets might be a good place to go find rice. African markets, good place to go find rice and things. if that's not sold out, but you could try. Hispanic markets, they also have they eat a lot of rice and beans. So it's not a bad idea to look there too. Things like that you're not everybody else is thinking about. I mean, we got to get creative because the food is going quick. You know, and I want people to feel like they're being fed because that is a big deal right now. You know, I don't want people to start out with this hungry. You know, hunger makes people do like bad things. You know?
Truth.
And I don't blame people, but you know, you had even already got some like questionable, I don't know if you call them threats, but I almost want to say they're threats. With people being like, well, I'll just come over and take your stuff, Red.
Yeah.
Yeah, like don't come to my house. Don't even. Like you're not gonna want that at all.
Right.
Just saying. You don't want none of that. None of it. Like, I'm trying to get into the chat. Hopefully I can get into the chat. Well, the site chat. Oh, let me copy this. Also, like I told everybody the other night when we were on the Red Pill Show at night, my Patriot Supply is still sending things out. So definitely still go with them. If you can't find anything else, order their storable foods. You'll at least have something to eat. Things like style potato soup. And other things. Because if that's all you've got, I mean, if there's nothing else to eat in the store, I mean, what do you got now? And at least it'll come in a couple weeks if you got enough food to last that long. Yeah, they're talking 8 to 11 weeks, but the seed kits and things I ordered showed up in less than 2 weeks. Not saying that will happen for you, but they're trying to overpromise, you know, and tell you, yeah, it's going to be super long, and then try to hopefully surprise you. We don't know. But I'll pop the link right there in the chat on YouTube, and you guys can go check it out. Because I think at this point, in places like Thrive, Thrive is also a place where you can get some storable type foods. I think those places are going to be the places that people need to go. Because what else are you going to get at this point?
Right.
Can't find anything. There's nothing that exists. All the food is gone. Even all the preparation food. Now, at our local Walmart in the camping aisle, they still had freeze-dried foods.
They didn't. I didn't check camping.
Yeah, we did. And so, you know, Mr. Tire happened to be back there, and he said they did exist. So that did happen. So they did have that. So you might want to check that at your local stores too. I mean, yeah, it's kind of expensive, but at the same time, would you rather have no food or a nice hot meal for $8? The choice is yours.
Right.
Because I mean, they have some decent, you know, meals and things that you can go with. I didn't see any tortillas or anything either. I don't know.
We have plenty of tortillas.
When you're hungry, an MRE is A-okay.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And I mean, they've still got some really good deals going on with their food and some of their supplies. So, and they said their supply isn't down. So that's something for people to think about. They're at least not out of anything so far, that like they said. Just only thing is the shipping issue. So, I mean, and they've been really good about keeping people updated. And that's all you can do. I mean, like they said, they'll be delayed on new orders, but they've opened 3 new processing plants, you guys, in the last few weeks since this started, just to process orders, because that's how much demand they've been getting. So they've been producing millions of packages and cans of food a week. So first come, first serve basis. If you get your order in, 10% of orders may ship in 1 to 2 days. They will email you with updates, and that's true. And they do show you tracking of where your package is and the estimated date of arrival. So you do kind of keep tabs on where it's at. So I highly recommend it. I've eaten their foods for years before we became involved with My Patriot Supply. I've taken them camping. I've eaten them. They're good. I can't say anything bad about it. And I even got survival coffee. So, I mean, I'm ready for coffee. I'm ready for a lot of different things. Right now, My Patriot has their beans trio with rice kit for, you know, $59. Like I said, when you can't find anything in the store, you're going to have to pay premium.
Last beans on earth.
Right. You know, or they even have their emergency food supplement for $27, where you can just eat that and survive. So there's options. I mean, if you need it cheap, there's cheap. So I recommend everybody to think of some out of the box ideas right now. If you can hook up with neighbors or other people you know and try to share resources as well. I just don't want to see this turn into Mad Max sooner than it needs to be. Yeah, that's a good point too. Rick in the chat said he's also misting groceries before putting them in his vehicle and wiping everything down. It is a little time consuming, but a lot of people with immunocompromised families already do that. And so you can use a bleach solution, I believe they tell you on the CDC even, I think. The amount of bleach solution to use to wipe down stuff like that. And decontaminating your shoes. You know, when you come in, you know, you've been walking around and they say it lives on surfaces for days and for plastic and metal even longer. This is something we want to be aware of. Yeah, and tuna does have heavy metals. So yeah, you do, and especially if you're a pregnant woman or lactating woman or going to be pregnant, you do want to watch your consumption of tuna. That is something that can happen. Yeah, so you would, I mean, you can eat it once a week safely though. But for the guy who had, you know, 50 cans of tuna, not necessarily a good idea. So you might start to get some overload in your system. So that's what I mean. I hope people bought things that are practical. Like if they bought Spam, they bought some eggs, or they bought some Spam and rice, or, you know, because I feel like people just bought things that don't even go together, and they're going to be in a world of hurt. And then they're going to be the ones who want to start coming after other people's goodies, because people are going to be like, I'm eating good. And other people are going to be like, no, we want that too. You know, I bet you the natural food store is sold out of aloe too. I bet you I can't even go to my co-op and find it, because I've had a hard time finding aloe gel anywhere to even purchase that wasn't on back order. Like, so I don't know about that. It's just concerning. That's nice in Ohio. If you live near an Amish settlement that has lots of supplies and food for sale, I would get a lot of those things like oats. Oh, your county extension office. If you really need like food grade like type stuff, they do have like a lot of oats and other things that you could get that are edible. So if it gets to that level, county extension office. And they are for sale. So don't forget about that. I mean, at this point, we got to start thinking options. You know, no one's come out and made an announcement about, oh, supply chain, we know for a fact is intact. We do know that there is enough food to keep American stores supplied for the next, 6 months or whatever it is. They're not coming out and telling us any of that.
No.
That's my only concern. No one's giving us a shakedown of that information.
All that stuff's based on patterns, and the patterns have just changed.
What peanut gallery say?
He said all those things are based on pattern or algorithms, and those all just changed.
Exactly. Exactly. How they actually do their ordering. You're absolutely right, Peanut Gallery. How they do their ordering is based on what people buy. And then now all of their things are going to be messed up in the algorithm to even reorder things. And will the right things even show up? Or will too much show up of one thing? Or, and then that messes up the whole supply chain.
And how is it that everybody in the country had the same idea to buy toilet paper?
Right.
Why is that?
There's something weird about it. It's something creepy, like Stepford Wife level. You know what I mean? Like everybody walks in sync, like Soylent Green type of, it's strange. Children of the Corn, it's too Walking Dead.
There's still frozen pizzas. There's still munchies. There's still hamburgers. But there's no toilet paper.
Now, in other stores, there isn't. Now, I've seen pictures of where the whole frozen pizza aisle was decimated, and there was no frozen pizza to be found. So, but like you said, this Colorado, why aren't all the munchie foods gone? What are people buying to eat?
Right.
Are they buying anything to eat? Like, the things they're buying are like bagged beans and rice that they probably never cooked in their life.
Right.
Well, the average Colorado citizen does know where there's at least 200 elk and has a firearm.
You've got a good point. Now, it will go to hunting pretty quick. Like, yeah, I wouldn't be concerned about
that. People just aren't worried about meat because, I mean, Salida has the largest deer population I know of.
Right.
In town, in people's backyards.
You're right. City deer are a real issue.
Maybe they're just not worried about
city
meat.
Deer are a real issue.
Yeah, city deer. We got city deer. Yeah, some people have city chicken. We have city deer.
It's true. I would be, and Ron said that in his area, his Costco was completely sold out of everything. Bruce said, how about checking the farm supply stores and the feed mills at the grain elevators? That's a great idea too.
Now we were at Murdoch's and there was no changing.
Okay.
Then I noticed everything.
Like it didn't look like nobody ran in there and like mass supplied dog food. And that's another thing I want to bring up. How's come Walmart's clearing out of freaking everything? Okay.
Dog food, all the dog food is there, all the cat food.
Nobody feeding their pets during this whole thing,
right?
Because ain't none of the pet food short. That was the first place we went, was to make sure that we had dog food.
Right. Yeah. Well, and you've got a few dogs that honestly might look at you like a whole lot of snack in the middle of the night if you don't feed them.
Yeah.
It's real. I wouldn't trust them not to eat you if it came down to it.
Minnie had kittens tonight.
Really? Oh.
Yeah. Friday the 13th kittens.
Of course, they're going to be out of control.
Yeah, Thor got to them already.
Thor can go... Thor can get tied up outside. That's what Thor can do.
One of the kittens was dead, but I don't think he killed it. It was cold. And we caught him right away, so I don't think he killed it.
No.
There's a hole in it.
He bit it, but it was already dead if it was cold.
Maybe
before
he bring it to you or something and actually be good. You never know. I'm trying to give Thor the benefit of the doubt here, but he usually is doing something naughty, so, good for you, TLO. I'm glad you got 30 cans of cat food for your cat. That's one. Your cat deserves to eat. Also, Aldi, TLO. I don't think there ain't, the only Aldi I know of, I think, is on the north side. Maybe there's one out in Bloomington or something, but Aldi has $5 bags of cat and dog food. I don't know if they're gone now, but at some point they did. So I would go there for that because it's cheap and it's all natural dog and cat food. It's not like highly processed. It's all natural ingredients. So I highly recommend people to go get that if it's still available. At this point, you don't know what's available or not anymore. Everything is gone.
Yeah. Even the people stocking the shelves in our Walmart were lost because they're like, I don't know where to put anything. Everything's gone. There's no sense of where stuff even goes.
Start putting it somewhere. It was so odd though to go down the aisles and nothing be there.
Oh yeah.
Whole aisle.
Whole aisles.
Whole aisles, yeah, whole aisles, just space and nothing there. And I mean, what used to be there in your mind. But
Right. And then you just keep circling the store because you're like, okay, did I remember that it was somewhere else? Was it somewhere else? Surely there is not. Okay, like for instance, when I went to go get my beans,
Right.
I couldn't find any beans. And I'm like, well, surely I'm just not seeing them. Surely
You have to read the little tag.
there's not, every bag of beans, dried beans is gone. That's absurd. And then you start reading the little tags for the empty shelves. So you're like, nope, this is where the beans were.
Yeah, and all the stores now are closing early. Now, my high beasts in started a policy in February, around February 12th, start closing at midnight and reopening at 5 a.m. They claimed it was for staff, blah, blah, blah. Now all the stores are following the same type of model, which makes me think was if that just wasn't, they were paying attention and they knew that was the trend. You know what I mean?
I'm actually starting to question if stores are just emptying shelves and stockpiling stuff in the back to make it look more drastic.
I don't know. I don't think they have the stuff. Like I said, we knew there was going to be interruptions in supply soon. I think they have certain things, yes. But I think a lot of the things that they didn't, who would have predicted pasta and pasta sauce? Who would have predicted rice and beans? Now, rice and beans, I guess I could see, okay? But pasta and pasta sauce?
Every 5-year-old can make spaghetti.
That's true too.
It's
You're
like
right.
one of the things you learn as a kid. So yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, you're right. It's like the mac and cheese or the instant.
And all the kids home from school.
True.
But beans, dried beans.
Yeah, the dried beans is what gets me.
But there was plenty of tortillas.
Was there tortillas? There were no tortillas at
Oh,
mine.
yeah, plenty of
We
tortillas.
had lots of tortillas.
See, I bought masa flour just so if I have to make my own tortillas, I can.
We did too.
Yep, because that's like one of the one things they did have was masa flour, and you can make a couple like little like desserts and little dishes out of the masa flour. So I was like, all right, we could grill with this. But no tortillas. Like,
We had tortillas. That one.
and no peanut butter, but a whole bunch of jelly.
We had lots of peanut butter, but no bread and no honey.
Yeah, we had lots of peanut butter, no bread, no honey.
Yeah, what is this? Like, I just don't understand. Like I said, I hope people have food to nourish them because their choices don't seem like it. You know what was interesting up here too? They had large cans of hominy, the biggest cans of hominy I've ever seen in the Hispanic aisle. And not to stereotype, but every Hispanic who was in the store had one of those giant cans of hominy, if not two, in their cart.
I wish I could have
Oh.
found one, dude. I would have totally bought one. I love
I
hominy.
thought of you, G, when I saw that big old can. And it was like a 10-pound can of hominy for like $2. It was huge.
Yeah.
You would have loved it. It would have been your favorite thing. Like, it was huge. Like the food service size can of hominy. Like, but everybody had one. I thought that because that was the only thing left. There was no beans. There was nothing. So I'm assuming that they felt like, okay, for like a grain or legume or something, it's the next best thing. That's all you got.
Right.
So I found that interesting too. Some of the powdered milks were still available, but a lot of that was gone. Because a lot of that you can substitute as like formula and stuff for youngins. Because a lot of people said the formula is gone for infants right now too. A lot of people have been stepping up saying they would wet nurse for people, which I think is a great, great, great thing right now. People are going to need that.
Hey, people in my area,
Right.
I'm gonna have goat's milk.
Right.
Anybody who has a baby, an infant, if you don't have formula, please reach out. We don't have it yet. We're waiting on kids to drop,
Right.
but they will be dropping. We are going to have it in the next week or so. So anybody who has an infant near me who is short on formula, or even if you're not short on formula and you just want a better, healthier choice for your baby than
Right.
formula, please reach out. We'll help you. We'll make
Let's
sure.
nourish the baby.
And really, right now, y'all, I am up for trading some milk for eggs. Milk for eggs. Milk for eggs. That's my trade. That's what I need.
Right.
I need eggs.
Or if you got some extra baking powder, take that too.
No, I got baking powder at the other store.
Oh, did you? What else are you missing? You better put up what you missing. Like, hey, let's trade. I'm here for it. That's where I'm at. I want more people to work with each other like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have tons of goat's milk. So you need to have a container, and you need to be in my area. You need to have a container and something to trade.
Right, and something to trade.
And I don't want money. You better have something to trade. I need eggs.
Yep. I wanted to get some powdered
That's
eggs.
another good trade.
They're
Always
$50.
wants potatoes.
What's up, Dwayne? I see you.
Sup, homie?
What's going on?
Dude, milk. Dude, everything was out of my store today besides milk.
Milk was there. So okay, so we've talked. So we've got this skinny from Dwayne. Milk was at his store. No milk here.
If y'all are in Maslin, they are stocking milk every time somebody pulls 3 jugs out.
Why are people getting so much milk? Now I can understand if you got little babies, because if you got a little baby and you go through like a gallon of milk every other day with like a 1-year-old who drinks a whole bunch of whole milk, I could see you having to get like 6 to 8 gallons of milk.
We're stocking up on mac and cheese, dude.
Dude, everything, instant noodles, mac and cheese, rice and beans, we were talking about it all. It's all gone. Everything is gone.
Dude, and I seen someone who doesn't even have a baby walk out of there with 20 packs of baby wipes.
You know what? The folks with this 20 packs, now I can understand for certain people who have certain issues who might need them. But just to buy them, to be like, oh, I'm going to use these for my...
They're buying them because they're out of toilet paper.
Right. Just buy a couple packs.
Well, I had my son with me, and I went to buy, Huggies baby wipes.
Right.
Because it's the only thing that doesn't break out my son.
Yeah, Huggies are the only ones that I really use on my kids. Yeah. Even though they're not like the greatest, but they did not affect my children. So
he grabbed the last 20 packs, and I looked at him.
See, I would have been snatching from that man at that point. See, look,
dude, I told him, like, dude, I'm taking like 5 packs out of your cart. You're being a selfish fucking prick.
Yeah, is there some need to take all the baby wipes? You see a man with a baby looking for baby wipes, and you can't be like, oh, sir, here's a pack. I see you have a baby here. People don't want to be dealing with shitty situations. Like I said, people could be using old T-shirts, old socks, right? Instead of trying to take something from a baby. You know what? That's the lowest of the low, folks trying to take stuff from babies.
Right, and then like all the diapers were gone. Like people said they're about to start using diapers as toilet paper.
No, you better leave them babies for the folks who got babies, or otherwise there's going to be some shitty problems. And you know what? I would be leaving my baby with you then. You want to take all the diapers? You can take the baby too. And you can deal with them shitting all over, because that is wrong. You don't need a diaper. Right. There are other things you could use. Try to use shop towels even. Hell, blue shop towels. Find something.
Right, like with my family, we go through paper towels like it's no tomorrow. So there was a bunch of paper towels left because no one's buying fucking paper towels.
Everybody's
Nobody-
buying the paper towels here. How do you guys get out of the paper towel apocalypse?
Yeah, right.
Right?
Dude, like, everyone's buying like disinfectant wipes and
You still have disinfectant wipes? Good for you.
dude, we don't even have. I went to go buy the Lysol disinfectant wipes and everything because everybody in my mom's house has decided for some reason to come down being sick.
Right.
And I just passed this crap once. I'm not passing it
Back
two
again.
times. So like I went to go buy like my disinfectant spray, disinfectant wipes, trash bags, gloves. Dude, there's not even any freaking gloves left at Lowe's. And everybody in Walmart that I seen was wearing an N95 mask and gloves.
Were they wearing masks? No one was wearing a mask at my Walmart last night.
I was the only one.
Mr. Tire wanted to wear a mask last night, and I was
I
like,
was the only one.
you need to calm down. I'm not trying to have somebody like, look, we got some ghetto characters out there, and I'm not trying to have somebody fight me, trying to be like, you got the coronavirus, and then I'm gonna have to whoop ass, and then I really get the coronavirus.
But in the hubby said in the supply store, the farm supply store,
Right.
there were people wearing gloves but not masks.
Now, gloves are smart. Now, I saw a cashier last night. Shout out to my favorite cashier at Walmart. She knows who she is. I always get that woman. I'm surprised I wasn't in her line last night because I'm always in her line. But she was wearing gloves, and I was like, smart.
People,
I did want to say that our Walmart, I went to the self-checkout.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
But our Walmart was literally they were putting clothes signs after every person and wiping down the belt and everything in between every customer.
You know what? That's cool. That's actually cool because they weren't doing that at mine. They only had
They were doing that, and it's with alcohol. You can smell the alcohol, man.
And I
like,
get
and like, dude, like even people like at restaurants, like waitresses are wearing gloves. You know, like we went out to CC's today for dinner, and they, you know, all the workers were wearing gloves, especially while handling, you know, the food. Like when they talk to us,
our hygiene situation in the United States.
dude, when they talk to us, they did
I would
this.
just like to say, I was washing my hands before it was the cool thing to do.
True.
Okay. And I believed in soap before we were told to. I would just like to make those associations. Okay.
Right.
I thought these things were vital in life before we went into
I
a
like
national
cleaning your
emergency.
house with cleaning supplies at all. I mean, you don't have to use disinfecting products if you don't want to, because just general cleaning solutions will help too. But I'm surprised that everybody now felt this was a need. You know, and okay, now people bought the things. Are they using them? My concern is everybody went out and bought all these Clorox wipes, bought all the Pine Sol, bought everything besides, like, there was 8 bottles of Fabuloso at the Walmart. That was it. Are they actually now using these things? Because, you know, I did my first deep clean a couple weeks ago and did all the floors and did all that so we could get that first layer of grub and grime off and all that. But are people even utilizing it?
Dude,
It's in
you're gonna
small
think I'm either crazy or psychotic, but I seen a parent wipe down his 5-year-old with at least 10 Lysol wipes.
So you know what? The stupid is real. Okay, we are going to see the ultimate Darwin Awards passed out during this event. And I am concerned for people's health and safety because this stuff is toxic, you guys. Like, if this wasn't something that is putting people in serious danger, I would not even be recommending using half these products. I usually use all natural cleaners and things, but I've been forced to buy non-natural cleaners because everybody has bought up everything that I would use to make natural things. Okay, that's the only reason why I'm stuck right now.
Yeah, me too. Because, like I said, they bought up all the aloe vera gel.
Yeah. All the alcohol. We did have peroxide at ours, but I don't need peroxide because I got peroxide. I needed.
I asked at my Walmart. I asked the pharmacist, "Where is the aloe vera gel?" She's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, it's normally that aisle over, but everybody bought it up to make their own hand sanitizers. They're so stupid."
Dude, and here's the thing, like I did not know this, but a friend of mine has been wiping down counters like since the Lysol wipes have been gone.
Right.
She buys 2 tall bottles of Jack because it's whiskey and it has pure alcohol in it.
Yep.
And is rubbing down counters in her cars and
It's
stuff.
better than nothing. Honestly, Jack is about 40% alcohol. They say you need 60 or more, but shit, it's better than nothing at this point.
Dude, it reeks like in her car of alcohol. Like we got pulled over tonight, and he asked like, "Why does it smell of alcohol?" And I'm like, "I just got done rubbing my car down in Jack because of the fucking coronavirus. Can you take 2 steps back away from my car because I don't know if you're sick?"
Right.
Dude, and cops and everything, they're not wearing masks. They're not wearing gloves.
They should be wearing gloves and masks at least, interacting with these people, because they're going to be the ones who spread it, who have so much contact with the community.
Nope, like I just canceled my ride along here for Saturday
Good, smart. Don't be out there.
because I'm not getting sick. And like I was interviewing people at Walmart today, like asking them like, what made y'all wait to like the last minute to prep? They were like, oh, we never thought I would hit Ohio. I'm going like, and I looked at the one dude, he's like, well, we survived SARS and MARS. I'm like, yeah, what the fuck makes you think
But
you're
we
gonna
didn't
survive?
shut down the world over SARS and MERS and all this other shit. And Ebola, even Ebola, that you literally bleed out of every orifice and die. We didn't even close the world over that.
And,
Nope.
and he went like, I've listened to people talk about it, but I thought it was true, and I just excuse what I'm about to say. I went like, sir, I said, you are the most moronic idiot I have ever met. And he went like, I don't know where to find true facts about it. And he's a friend of mine on Facebook.
Right.
I said, every Friday night I shared a link to a show where you get true facts. You don't sugarcoat shit. And he went like, what? I thought you're all a bunch of coon hooks because I've listened to it. I went like, oh, Jesus. Dude, like the idiocy you see here, like, because I'm now seeing it in Ohio because we have over 12 different cases.
Mine still has some light. It's not dead.
Like, we have over 12 different cases we've seen on Facebook as of today.
Right.
They've shut down our schools. They've shut down the libraries. For Christ's sake, my church got shut down on Sunday.
They have shut down most churches in most places that they said that they're not. And then I wonder, Easter is 1 month away. I wonder how that affects all Easter proceedings and doings, because I have a good feeling we're going to be canceled and quarantined for all of this.
My pastor said on an email today, he does not care what the governor of Ohio has to say. He does not give a damn. He will have everybody in church Easter Sunday morning for service. He does not care. He went like, there's going to be 5 of us in there.
Watch out! Here he comes. Sorry.
There's going to be 5 of us in there that Saturday night, wiping every surface down with disinfectant stuff so we can have people in there that morning for church. And I am actually scanning people as they hit the front door. Because if you have a temperature over 99.5, we are asking you to turn around and walk away.
See, look, it's going crazy.
Well,
I
we
mean-
right now are under a restriction of no gatherings over 250 people, I think is what he said.
Our governor just said 100. Plus, no, listen to this shit. I seen on an article I saw on Facebook today that our president is getting ready to self-isolate because I guess somebody he came in contact with
He's come in contact
tested
with a couple
positive.
people who have tested positive for coronavirus.
Scarlett, what have I been saying for the past 2 weeks?
Man, I've been saying the president was
Let
going
me-
to get sick. Why did he go shake those people's hands from the cruise ship? Oh, I'm going to go shake their hands to show that there ain't nothing wrong, blah, blah, blah. It's great. And then this
Can
crap
I say this? Can I say this without either of you yelling at me?
I don't know, Dwayne. It's kind of my show, but we'll see. Shoot it out.
Because our president is an orange-haired Oompa Loompa who doesn't listen. I'm being honest at this point.
I mean,
He puts out this world epidemic, this national epidemic in the US, and he goes and shake these people's hands.
well, that was before even the medical state of emergency. But
You see what I'm saying?
okay, first of all,
He
sounds
does. When I listened to him the other night, he did. And then I listened to him, I think it was tonight when he addressed. I think it was yet again tonight when he did another address. He's sound like he's getting worse and worse by the minute.
yeah. I mean, something else. And Linda says I would hold my own church. Yeah, like we said with on the original Red Pill show at night the other night, where two may, come together. I am there, right?
Well, they just took the Zoom room, the 45-minute Zoom room off the basic plan.
Yeah, Zoom is giving schools free Zoom capability.
Everybody has it now because they took it off the basic plan. So what I plan on doing, because it pulls up on my computer like that too.
Yep. So they gave everybody upgraded their Zoom so that everybody can be together. So you know what? One thing that we are saying tonight is that we at Freedom Revolution Network are really proud to have that Zoom logo in our corner, because we tried to pick the best company that we could use to do what we wanted to accomplish. And like we said on Wednesday, now we all can still be together and talk about what's happening without physically being together. And right now, that's going to be really important for people, because you're not going to be able to get that physical outward connection. It's going to drive a lot of people crazy.
Right. And that's the one thing I love about, Zoom or Messenger, and things that you can still physically see.
Comcast is giving everybody their Internet Essentials internet for free. If you're a first-time Comcast customer, they're giving you free Essentials internet with no background check, no contract, and you get 25 megabyte speed internet for free, and you get it free for 60 days.
AEP, which is a power company in my area, is saying that everybody that got a disconnection notice because they were late,
Yep.
or anybody who can't pay it, they're not shutting the power off.
Yeah, they said no shutting the power off in a lot of different areas. So, I hope that holds true. I would like to see, there was a petition in my area that they are trying to get to make happen, where they would actually, stop all eviction courts and forgive all the debts with utilities and things of that nature. I feel like it could be a real start for folks.
My brother-in-law got a email today stating from AT&T or something like that, saying if we go into because I've been hearing rumors of them. My friend was telling me today that we're going to go into quarantine within the next month.
That's what we're hearing. We're hearing 2 weeks from now that we're going in full lockdown.
But we're in our area, we're hearing a month. And I heard that from somebody in Walmart today.
Yep. It's going to happen. And so I want everybody to think about, where do you want to be to bug out? Because now is the time to decide and get ready to go. If you want to be stuck in the city and deal with the ramifications of that, go ahead.
Well, I know my fiance's parents told me today that once the word goes out of quarantine, that my ass is going all the way to Columbus, out in the middle of the fucking country, in a barn with their family for a month.
Yeah.
Don't know how I feel about that, but I would
I
rather be
get
with my
it, Gio.
girlfriend.
I get it. You know, how are we going to survive without pay? I get it. But if there's nothing at the store to buy, what are we going to do?
Right, like Lowe's is offering their employees, and the only reason I know this is because my fiance works for Lowe's, so I figured I would throw this out there. You know, if Lowe's starts shutting down, they're giving all their employees a 2-week pay.
Yeah.
2 week
Oh,
pay.
and Walmart said if you get sick, that they're actually giving you pay. I was really surprised on that for Walmart.
Dude, I seen somebody collapse in a bathroom today at Walmart,
What?
like walking out of our bathroom. Because the bathroom's up in the front of the registers, and I'm back by the jewelry section, which is back like 100 feet to 200 feet behind the registers. And dude went from here, standing straight like this, bashed his face from here to here off the water fountain, and was gone.
Wow.
And thank God for me being licensed in first aid and CPR. And I had a face barrier mask, like that covers my eyes, my mouth, and gloves for Christ's sake. But yeah, we seen someone drop today. We don't know if it's from the coronavirus or is it just a seizure.
Wow.
But seeing people drop like that, dude, it's getting bad.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Like, we jumped from 4 cases to I think about 9 or 10 within a 2-day span. Because what, Scarlett, was it 3 days ago I told you we just got cases in Ohio?
Yep. Well, yeah, I told you that there were cases in Ohio.
Yeah, you told me, and what, we're at 10. Hold on. Let me look. I don't want to misinform anybody on accident that's hearing from Ohio. Yeah, don't want to do that. And I'm also going to start updating too, through my Facebook, from Ohio, since I'm in the brunt of this BS.
I had gotten to talk about Puka. I had gotten the ingredients, like I said, to make my own homemade washing soap, and you only use like a teaspoon of that on each. So on each load. So I've got enough for quite some time. It's just borax, super washing soda, and the Fells Naphtha soap. And that's all you use. And it's your own. But the one thing is if you have your own washer, it's pretty hard on it. But see, I live in an apartment, so I use a shared washer. So I really don't care about it being hard on the washing machine. If it was my own washing machine, I'd be careful because it can clog it up. And then some manufacturers won't let you use the warranty if they find out you use homemade soap. So, which it works. It's a great way to wash and brighten up your clothes. You can use the super washing soda around your house. You can use the borax around your house. All good things. I even got a small bag of Epsom salt, to be able to soak, because I think everybody's going to have a lot of tension right now.
Scarlett, I was wrong. I
had that Sote soap. I saw that at Walmart as well, and it's $1.13. They have it in white or pink, and I should have got a bar of it, but I only grabbed the Fells Naphtha because the Zoda bars are like 2 to 3 times the thickness.
Scarlett, I was wrong.
How many?
We have 13 cases. So this is what they're saying. The
Ohio
department.
Chat just said it too.
We have 13 cases. There are now 159 people under investigation, up from Thursday 52, according to the health department. These are the areas in Ohio, guys, that are affected. There are 6 in Cuyahoga County. Holy crap! Wait, that's news to me. There's 2 in my area, Stark County, 2 in Belmont County, 1 in Butler, 1 in Summit, and 1 in Trumbull. Action said these cases are in 8 males and 5 females. The ages range from 34 to 66 years old, with the median age being 48.
Wow. And people have to be careful too, because I guess people were also warning about the actual washing machines. Um, so they were saying like your washing machines, if you use communal washing machines, that you want to be careful because it could also spread that way. So I ended up getting like the last bottle of Lysol laundry sanitizer, which I normally would not use. But in this situation, since I can't find vinegar, can't find anything else, I figured it was the best thing since I'm using communal washers.
So basically, right now, it looks like from the map that I'm seeing that the WHO composite on, I guess every single state now has a confirmed case of the Novid.
Novel coronavirus.
Yep, the COVID-19.
Yeah. I mean, literally everywhere.
But here's my thing. It seems like this coronavirus, and this is just me speaking out from what I've seen and what I've researched, with you, Scarlett, and Red, what I've researched. It looks, I gotta stop doing that. It looks like this thing is at it's a near peak. You see what I'm saying? Like it's at its peak. So I'm hearing everybody say this thing's going to be gone within 2 to 3 weeks.
Maybe.
Because now our governors are taking the action, and this is, I feel bad, Scarlett, from what I said on Friday, calling our governors stupid and everything for not taking action.
Well, no, because they should have taken action weeks ago. They knew this was coming. Just because we didn't have cases didn't need to mean that we couldn't have been proactive and started a lot of these closures and started the social distancing measures. But people were being too stubborn to think that we could ever do something like that. Then so they were putting pressure. Stakeholders were putting pressure, and then they let it go too far. And now they're trying to backpedal. That's what we're seeing. The backpedaling of our officials.
But and this is coming from a medical standpoint, and here too now with the closures starting to happen. Everything is taking effect. As of today, schools were shut down in my area for 3 weeks. We will open that back up to April 3rd. So since these cases are coming out, our governor has literally jumped on top of the ball. Like our state is jumping on top of this, seriously.
Right.
So if all these closures start do I agree with a whole nationwide quarantine? Not really, because it's going to drive a lot of people nuts. And I was telling people this today, if we see a nationwide quarantine, we can expect to see National Guard, involvement.
Yep. And we already are. 1,000 troops have been deployed across the country.
Right. We got them in Europe. I know they were talking about sending them into Europe. See, that's my thing. How are we going to treat our soldiers that are getting this?
Right. We are not, because they're not letting them travel. Did you hear that no travel for military now?
What?
Yeah, no military travel at all. They are told to stay put.
Wow.
Yep.
So that's just my thing right there. See, and I'll say this, China was the one that originally dropped the ball with COVID-19.
Yeah.
And I'm still thinking they did it for a reason. And y'all know my reasoning.
Today when Trump was like, we know who did it.
I heard that. I was listening. Yeah, when he said we know who did it, I went yeah, we know who fucking did it.
Bioweapon. We know who did it. Nanovirus. I've been saying it. Nanovirus.
We've all been saying it since we started picking up on it.
Well, yeah, because I've been reading studies about it, and I've been reading medical journals about it, and it's been everything my life has been about for the past 8 weeks. I'm sorry that everybody else didn't feel that way or didn't see it to be important, and now people are waking up and being like, should I be scared now?
It's too late for all that. Now you got to
We-
shuffle your big girl panties on and get for a ride because it's too late to worry about being scared or not. Scared was the last 8 weeks that we've been watching this slow roll in.
We've been warning you guys.
Pop up the constitutional safe zone initiative, try to get people in their local areas to have people who are watching out, because now we have to worry about our civil liberties being taken as this state of emergency keeps rolling on and out. Hospitals are checking people before they come in. They're talking about Walmarts and Targets having drive-through coronavirus testing. This is starting to get draconian. We're talking checkpoints, we're talking
Right, and now I guess it's popping up on Google Maps, where there's actually these checkpoints that you can avoid said things.
Yeah, but can you avoid things?
I don't know. I'm still waiting for the option to pop up.
You know what I mean? We know what happens during hurricanes with things like checkpoints.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Everybody goes there and supposed to do what they're supposed to do, and then you've got some corrupt guys at this checkpoint hassling everybody, hazing everybody. You know what I mean? How are we going to stop abuses of power like this when people can't even come together and they're out here hoarding toilet paper?
And they're stabbing people over it too.
Yeah.
I just read it today, and I'm a little behind the ball because Scarlett talked about it. You know what, a man in Australia got stabbed over a freaking thing of toilet paper.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm just gonna say this: if y'all are really gonna stab somebody over some toilet paper, y'all are some ignorant motherfuckers.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not that serious. You can use other things. I get we're used to it. You can use a squeezy water bottle like a bidet, a home bidet. That's good enough. Many other countries use bidets and don't even use toilet paper.
Mitch Mac socks that you don't wear no more.
Anything at this point.
Washcloths.
Hurt one another over it. Like I said the other night, let's be kind to one another. The one thing we've been seeing is the ugliness and the ugly side of humanity that we knew was coming. Everybody's been highly selfish lately. Highly selfish.
Right, and I'm gonna
This
say
might be a test, and this might be a test and a reality check to show people we need to treat each other kind, and how are we going to work together during a serious crisis?
and Red said this to me on the phone yesterday. Us as God's children, we do not run.
Right.
We stand up and fight. And God's not going to give us nothing that we can't handle. And I hate to go the religious aspect on this here, but even as you're talking on the original Red Pill show, the other day, it's right now literally treating others the way you want to be treated.
Yep.
It's about coming together and stop being, in my same words I'm going to say tonight, a bunch of selfish dicks.
Well, yeah, because people aren't thinking about others, or the old people who can't afford something, or maybe can only buy things once a month, who have already spent their money for the month and now won't be able to get anything. And
Right.
it's just sad. I hope people are still donating to their food banks if they have money and ability to have bought extra food. Those who already stock their shelves, I've been in a lot of groups, shelf stocking type groups where women can and have been saving just for things like this. And, I hope a lot of them donate things too.
Yep, I know. Me and a buddy of mine went tonight and dropped off. He had 200 cans too many out of 800 canned foods that he's been saving up over the past year, and we took them down, and did it.
Right. Now they're saying Europe, BBC News is now saying Europe now epicenter of coronavirus pandemic. Wegmans starting in New York to start closing at midnight to clean and restock. School attendance in New York dropped from 89% to 68% in the past week. House passes COVID-19 pandemic stimulus package tonight. So they did pass that, which was being, held back by certain situations. I'm screen sharing right now from worldometers.info, the latest information about the COVID-19 outbreak, we're at 145,695 cases, 5,436 deaths, 72,536 recovered. So active cases right now, 67,000. 91% have a mild condition, 9% are in serious or critical condition, 7% death rate.
S-
7%.
But I like how they're also putting that recovered, you know,
And discharge. I mean, so 93% of people are getting better, but we know that those people catch it again and then go back into the active cases.
right, which is why, like, if you guys here in the States get quarantined, because now I guess you're quarantining people for 27 days. Because you're now finding out that this shit lasts in the body for 27 days, which is why people were still coming back positive after a negative test result.
Right.
What they're doing with the guy in my hospital here in my area is they're not letting him release until he passes 3 coronavirus tests.
Trump said he ain't taking the test. I just read that in that ABC article. He's not taking the test.
You're being an idiot, dude. Why are you doing it?
Well, I mean, if I don't know. At this point, the way they're taking these tests, that's not how they're supposed to be able to test for the disease. I think they're doing some strange DNA collection right now.
They're doing oral swabs here in the States.
Yeah, an oral swab does not tell you about COVID-19 with the way it works, how you have to find it in the genes of the blood in the assay. And so we've been following this way too long to know how they actually diagnose it, or with CT scan, because of the ground glass opacity that shows in the lungs is different from any other respiratory disease. So they need to stop, because what are these swabs? I don't think they're COVID-19 tests. I got in touch with a gal in China.
Right. Remember you telling me that.
I know, and I haven't told the listeners this yet, that has available the COVID-19 cassette test that we all talked about last Friday. Remember when I screen shared the Daily Mail article and we showed about the cassettes and all that, and those tests, and those were going to be available soon? Well, China has them. And there is a company in Zhejiang, China, who is selling them, okay? And they're selling, here's a picture. Let's see if I can get a good picture. Here's the picture of it. The COVID-19 rapid test cassette, okay? Comes in a package like that. This is also the insert information that goes with it, how to read the test, all that. I was also sent a video. It looks like a pregnancy test. Okay, so it looks like a pregnancy test, and then you take a drop of blood with a lancet, and then you pop the blood in there, and then it can tell you if you're at the beginning stage of the disease, the end stage of the disease, or the middle stage of the disease. And they're selling those tests for like $2 a piece.
Right.
And they're charging ridiculous amounts, but somehow now can do a swab. And Alibaba, the Jack Ma, the leader of Alibaba, said he was donating 1 million masks and a bunch of these test kits. And other countries have been using them, like South Korea. But I want to know what these swab tests are, because the only other test I've known when they send them to the CDC is going on a gene assay, okay, which they found this rapid test cassette that you could just put a drop of blood with reagent on. But it's through gene assay to see if it's actually in your genetic code. So how are they just swabbing people now unless you're looking in through their DNA? So I feel like it's mass DNA collection.
Right. And Scarlett, I don't know if you saw this or not, but Bill Gates
Quit. Yeah,
he
resigned from Microsoft and Berkshire Hathaway 1 hour after the president declared national emergency.
Yes, he
He
doesn't.
wants to focus on his global health initiatives, which we all know what those are: vaccines and global health and outbreak and pandemic work and all this other crap. Isn't that special?
I didn't know if you knew or not. That's why I stated it like that.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
like a
Now,
bill.
look at this, you guys. The United States, 2,300 cases, 82 new cases today, 1 new death, total deaths at 50.
50?
50.
Oh Lord.
Yep, 41 recovered. So where are all the other people? How come we haven't even spoke to someone really recovered? How come we haven't talked to somebody in the hospital? How come everybody in China had their phones to video chat in the hospital with their people, but our people don't have their phones to video chat?
Oh
Isn't that a
no.
question?
I
Oh, no,
said the same thing because we
Right.
just spent all them days in the hospital, and the one thing that you have is the internet. And in fact, you had brought up about them confiscating their phones.
They were
Well, that doesn't even apply because listen, when we were there, they give you an iPad that lets you access everything, the internet, everything, and the television itself lets you get on the internet.
right. Right.
I ain't letting them take my phone. Like, nope.
Well, if you're so sick that you have to be intubated, you don't really kind of get a choice. That's what happened to those Diamond Princess people.
But where are all the other ones? Where are the ones even that are supposed to be self-quarantining?
Yeah, where are they? Can't they video chat or zoom in to a news network or something? You know, I'm gonna
Yeah.
put up a public appeal right now. If you currently have COVID-19, would you please contact us here at Freedom Revolution Network? We would like to talk to you if you have it, because
You can contact any of us three that are on here right now. If you have
just go fill
COVID-19.
out the contact form on freedomrevolutionnetwork.com and fill out contact us and say COVID-19, or station manager at freedomrevolutionnetwork.com and put in the subject line, I have COVID-19. I want to know where these people are, because at this point, we had a lot more of that information coming out of China. We had a lot more people who were at least talking and speaking out, like that nurse and that guy who were making the videos every day, you know, at least going, you know, showing her recovery and things. But we don't even have this with our people in the United States. And now
my son just went through a traumatic thing. Okay. Very traumatic. We're all aware of this. But
Right.
I'm just saying, like, I even had presence of mind in all of that to be taking a daily picture of him
Right.
and sharing it on social media.
Right.
Come on now, Red.
You're not going to tell me that a bunch of people sitting around with nothing to fucking do but sit in their house are not eating up all over social media.
Bro.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. Where are they at? I just want to know where they're at.
Are they lying to us about these numbers?
Well, yeah, because I think it's a lot worse. So here's the information. United States declares national emergency. Coronavirus expert Dr. Anthony Fauci said these kind of things generally run out in a few months. Hopefully we'll make it several weeks, 8, 9, whatever weeks. But I can't give you a number because it depends on how successful we are with mitigation and containment measures, which the WHO already said, you can't mitigate and contain this anymore. That's done. But earlier today, Dr. Fauci had said that it's certainly going to get worse before it gets better. The crisis will last for several weeks, probably possibly 2 months or more. Complete shutdown like Italy and China is not off the table. We just have to respond as things evolve over the days and over the weeks. Worst case scenario by CDC, if no actions taken, between 160 million and 214 million people in the U.S. would be infected. Dr. Lawler, an infectious disease specialist, said provided a best guess would be 96 million people. Could
We
last.
just lost Red, Scarlet.
Oh, I see. We lost Red. She'll probably be back. Come back, Red. Could even last months or over even a year. Best guess projections of 96 million people. As many as 200,000 to 1.7 million people could die. Dr. Lawler's calculations, 480,000 deaths, which he said was conservative. By contrast, 20 to 50,000 people have died from the flu-related illness, according to the CDC. 2.4 million to 21 million people in the United States could require hospitalization, potentially crushing the nation's medical system, which only has 925,000 staffed hospital beds. Fewer than a tenth of those are for people who are critically ill.
And guys, let me tell you this. This is someone, and Scarlet can testify to this. I had a fever for like 4 freaking days.
Yep.
And it felt like I was dying. I was on the phone with her every fucking night. Felt like I was dying.
Yep.
And then still after this, I am still sick. Not as bad. But let me tell you this. I'll tell you this. If you guys have a weak ass immune system, keep your fucking ass in the house. Scarlett, I'm done being polite about this shit.
Yeah, I mean, even if you have a healthy immune system and then you have a sniffle or you don't feel good or you feel run down, please just stay at home at this point. I get people have to go to work. If you have to go to work, take precautions, be proactive, do these things. And like I said, but if you have any days that you could take off, it's time to take them off.
You know, and like the only reason I'm out in my community, you know, you guys see videos of me and stuff on Facebook. If you guys are any of my friends on here, so dude, I'm dropping continuously, Scarlett. We bought. You're gonna yell at me. Not yell at me, but look at me like I'm crazy. I've dropped probably 200 boxes of gloves off within 2 days. You know, gloves, masks, hand sanitizers. You know, I just got my income taxes, and my income taxes was $800. I took $500 of my income taxes. I went out and bought masks, gloves, Perel, paper towels, and I just started dropping it off at people's door.
You're lucky you can even find these things.
It's called being in the medical field, and we have an overstock of them where we don't need all these.
Yeah.
We're actually starting to hand out this stuff. Like a little kid came and asked us Sunday night if he could have a box of gloves for his family in N95 masks. I went to my chief and went like, hey, got a little kid asking for masks and a box of gloves. Like, can we at least give away a box of gloves? He opened up our freaking supply cabinet, our supply closet. I couldn't even get 2 feet out in my front door of our supply closet.
Yeah. I mean, we got to be careful too, though, because if we don't have enough supplies, there's a hospital in Washington that is down to 4 days left of gloves.
Well, like I said, we had the extra 200 to give out. You know, he just redid our order of them. I think that same night, so we'll have a box in.
But we got to be careful about these type of things. I know we want to help each other and help others, but at the same time too, we have to be very careful because now they're telling people you don't even need gloves to take blood from these people. You don't need to wear masks to take blood when you come in contact with a potential COVID patient. But yet at the same breath, they're saying, oh, we're going to wear protective masks and gear if you come to the coronavirus testing facilities, and we'll come out to your car and swab you and we'll wear PPEs. But if you come into the clinic and we draw your blood, we don't.
See,
how does that make sense? Like, you know, I feel really bad because I thought we had better pandemic awareness, better pandemic control at the higher levels, but we did not.
Right.
We didn't at all. You know, and the way these doctors said things happen to them, and the way that they said they haven't been trained, they don't know what to do, they haven't been told, no one's coming to give them any type of guidance. There's no guidance for anyone anywhere. The president didn't even come out and say, hello, fellow Americans. Like, you need to, at home, if you can stay home from work, please stay home from work. If you can, you know, just helping us, you know, wash your hands, you know, get normal regular meals and buy your normal regular things, but don't over hoard. And, you know, otherwise we're going to have to put out ration cards or something. You know, we should have already had a plan for something like this to when like a national emergency happens, that we had like ration cards that we could then go to the store and make sure everybody gets toilet paper, everybody gets paper towels, everybody gets hand sanitizer, everybody gets cleaner, you know, something, because they dropped the ball on this. And we knew that if anything ever went down like this, stores would go down within 3 days. We've always known that. we're following that timeline now that we've always been watching for years. That we knew this would be a trigger puller. We knew.
You know,
We knew.
like not a lot of people know. Nobody knows this, but I was tested for this shit on Saturday by our stat care. You know, because anybody who now comes in with an upper respiratory infection through stat care, they draw your blood and you test for it. Of course not. I don't have nothing. Thank God. As I know. But here's the thing. Guys, checking your temperature every day is not going to do anything for you. I'm telling you that now. I'm just saying that due to the matter of fact that Scarlett even said on Friday, she kind of ruined my hope, but I love her anyways. That, you know, checking temperatures, you guys might not know for 14 days. Only reason I do it every 2 days is because I possibly had this shit a month ago. Scarlett, worst 4 days of my life.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and I'm really concerned about the homeless. You know, they're really at a vulnerable stage. You know, them
Ooh, speaking of that,
sleeping on, you know, the subways, and you know, they're saying certain people are saying that they're getting locked down in shelters and not allowed out anymore. And you know,
well, I know, like I had to call the homeless hotline the other day, Scarlett. I'll explain that to you later.
Okay.
I had to call the homeless hotline. They're not taking any mails right now because they're trying to get mails off the street because of COVID-19 in my area. They will not take anybody who is couch hopping.
right.
You
Yeah,
know, so
this is making me think martial law and taking over people, because why else wouldn't you take in people who don't have any other place to go?
and now they're talking about here in Ohio buying out hotel rooms for people who have COVID-19 to
Right.
put them in a comfortable, easy place. You know, to make it feel like you're still at home.
Yep.
You know, they're not going to quarantine everybody in a room because y'all.
Hey, you never know though. They're putting people on, you know, the same buses. They're not thinking about some of these choices that they're making.
Dude, if I could literally screen share on my phone, because I don't know how to do it, of an email I got from Greyhound. Scarlett, we just talked about this last week.
Oh yeah. Are you on Zoom on the phone or the computer?
My phone, but I'll read it to you guys real quick. Give me a minute.
Screen share. Just look at the bottom. It should have the button, because Red was able to on her phone.
No.
Yeah, while you do that.
Hold on, I gotta allow it. Give me a minute.
Yep, a lot. Yeah. See, look. Now we're on your phone.
There we go.
Now go get the email.
Because this is what they said from Greyhound. See, they even canceled Michael W. Smith's tour. Where is my Greyhound? Ah.
Okay.
On behalf of the Greyhound team, I wanted to thank you for traveling with us. I want you to let you personally know that your safety and the safety of our employees is our number one priority and is built into everything we do every day. Given the concerns posed by the coronavirus COVID-19, we have been working with the CDC Centers for Disease and Control Prevention since mid-February and wanted to share the steps we've been taking. Increase bus cleaning. We know how important cleanliness is, particularly now. We have increased the amount of wipe down cleaning of high touch areas, including seats, armrests, handles, windows, and seatbelts throughout the day, with the CDC recommended disinfectant. This is in addition to our standard deep bus cleaning and sanitization that occurs after each bus trip. Increased terminal cleaning. See, they're cleaning terminals after everybody comes in and out. On board our buses, we have approved hand sanitizers available in each bathroom. Because Greyhound has no middle seats, each customer traveling on Greyhound has an aisle or window seat. No one is seated between two other customers, which gives everyone more personal space, which is how it was when I rode Scarlett.
Right.
A quick boarding process limits the amount of time waiting in terminals or in boarding lines. Boarding now begins at 20 minutes prior to departure. You know, so I mean, like, even look at this. They shut down Michael W. Smith shut his stuff down because I get the awakening events.
Right.
He just shut down all of these tour dates
Wow.
here through April. So it's like, what other emails have I got about the coronavirus? See, COVID-19. I'm getting all of this. Go. I've used this. Go to subscribe to MedPage today.
Right.
So it's like, do I have anything else explaining the coronavirus?
There's a lot of those places that have been popping up with that have been coming out with emails on coronavirus. Have you been getting any, Red? Red's back.
No, I have not.
I've got a few already from a few different companies. I just got one literally from the Three Rivers Park District. A message about keeping your Xfinity services. That's probably about the COVID response from that. They're saying they're monitoring, blah, blah, blah. Parks are open. Park programs are going to be closed. That's what they say for that. Xfinity services coronavirus. They say that they'll maintain network reliability. They'll keep stores clean, employee and in-home support. They say,
y'all, I'm not sick. I'm a smoker. Okay, just gonna
Right.
clarify.
Right. They say, what else? I know somebody else said something about it that I was like, oh wow, I'm surprised I'd actually see that. They canceled the discourse at the Hindu temple. What else?
Scarlett, here, I'm going to screen share an image of what the lungs look like so people can see.
Yeah, I had showed people that not too long ago.
Let me see if I can find.
Actually, I had showed people like that whole Business Insider article that shows what like the ground glass opacity looks like in the lungs when you have it.
Phone's here.
What?
Oh, Peanut Gallery losing all of his shit.
Oh, of course.
Hold on. I'll just go back to the screen share thing again. This is what the lungs look like. This is from a Wuhan coronavirus patient.
Yeah, look at the ground glass opacity there in the bottom. Look at the pockets there where the arrows go. That is called ground glass opacity, right? And say, okay, now when you're looking at a lung, that's the bottom lobe of the lung that we're looking at because we look at it kind of downward from the top down, right? So, like if you could look inside someone's chest, but from a bird's eye view. Well, that at the bottom is something that is unique only to COVID-19, and it usually does not start gathering at the bottom and then spread to the lobes out to the white part. That is usually not what happens at all.
Right. And like you see the small white specks that you see, the random ones that aren't grouped.
Yeah.
That's actually liquid buildup.
Yep.
So for the people that don't know, the white that you see sticking out like it is, in the grayer areas of the lungs, that is all fluid buildup. Like, let me give you a better example. So right here, pulmonary viral pneumonia, which would match somewhat of the COVID-19. So all the white that you see, like right in here, is fluid buildup, which because coronavirus acts like pneumonia. So
it's very similar. And for those who don't remember this article, I'm going to snatch screen share away from you, Dwayne, and I'm going to take it over here to this article, which is the original one.
You're good, Scarlett.
To begin with, which is coronavirus patients have ground glass in their skins. This is what it looks like. They often have difficulty breathing. That's because their lungs filled with fluid, which shows up on a CT scan in the form of white patches called ground glass. Patients with pneumonia also have these patches, but doctors look for a few distinct features to diagnose the new coronavirus. Okay, so now here's what I was talking about: right lung, left lung, heart, lung nodules, which are normal. Okay, those are normal. But
But
coronavirus scans tend to have white patches, which radiologists refer to as ground glass opacity. Okay, and you see how low it is. Now you see there is some up here, but that's not what's unique about COVID. Okay, but what's unique about COVID is when you start seeing it, it starts spreading all the way through the lungs. Okay, and then you see as he was healing 19 days after, you start seeing those patches go away, right?
right,
It goes all the way to the white of the lungs, which it goes all the way into here, which is unusual um, for this. That's the part that you usually don't see in other respiratory illnesses, is it going all the way to the edges of the lungs.
right. And I will recommend this if you guys are an asthma patient and you guys start seeing more difficulty breathing. By the way, I'm a second red. I'm not sick. I smoke too much. If you guys have a nebulizer that you can put, I can't remember the name of it,
Colloidal silver.
that or a butyrol
Yeah.
into, start using that, because that will break this shit up. Like, I've seen pictures, like, of coronavirus patients laying on their stomach.
Yeah, to try to get that fluid to drain.
Like, that's what I had to do that's what Scarlett told me to do for about a week when I was in Tennessee to get all this crap to come up.
Yeah, and so they show you like this reticulation, and it's for people who had ARDS and other things. They can't use, and this was they couldn't use, just a CT scan alone. But like I said, the one thing is that it doesn't happen in any other disease. So that's something that you can look for. So I was telling people in the future. So if you do get a scan, that's what you need to look for.
Guys, and if you see mucus come up that's yellow or brown, I would start, not literally completely freak out, not yet. Like, if it's a light yellow or a light brown, start taking things like, Red told me yesterday, like hot herb. Red, what was it yesterday you were telling me on the phone?
Well, actually, the main herb that people should have right now actually isn't even an herb. Okay, what it is it is let me hold on, I'm sorry.
Wasn't it onion or something like that?
Oh, well, yeah, onions and garlic, but the thing that we should be using right now the most of is it's not even really an herb. It is it's more of like a fungus. Okay. It is an herb, but it's not a plant. It's actually a lichen, which is symbiotic relationship between algae and fungus. Okay.
Ooh.
And it is actually called usnea.
Old man's beard.
Old man's beard, yes.
I just
Here's why you need some usnea up in your eye. Okay.
Yep, I just literally wild foraged some of this up north, and I found a good, an okay amount. I'm gonna go try to find more, but it just
now, before a certain time period, all lichens were referred to as the same herb. So it's hard to distinguish how usnea is or was particularly used in the European histories, but it was. Now, in Chinese medicine, there are several types of usnea that have been used. Specific indications were for infections with signs of heat and dampness, redness, yellow pus, fast pulse, etc. Today we use it for infections of all types, even without indications of heat. So, when a person takes a pharmaceutical antibiotic, this antibiotic attempts to kill all bacteria, even the bacteria found in our digestive tract that we need, right?
Right.
Now, we're learning more and more that the plethora of bacteria that it's killing is actually incredibly beneficial and needed for our gut flora well-being. Okay.
Right.
Now, Usnea is an antimicrobial herb. This means it affects a very wide range of pathogens. It, however, is not an antibiotic herb that will kill all types of bacteria. So this is actually a very positive trait for humans. Now, it's highly effective against many types of gram-positive bacteria. This is important right now, dealing with this virus, okay? Common examples include staph and streptococcus. Here's an explanation. It's different, mainly gram-positive bacteria. It can effectively kill unwanted pathogens without majorly disrupting healthy gut flora.
So here is what it looks like in its natural form.
Usnea is also used for strep throat, tuberculosis, pneumonia, upper respiratory tract infections, urinary tract infections, and diarrhea. So all you toilet paper people, you just needed some Usnea up in your shit. Literally.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to see if I can show people better there. That's what it looks like in its natural form. Some pieces are still like on the tree.
Okay.
How it grows, it grows off of the
It's
tree.
also been shown to be effective with Helicobacter pylori, which is a gram negative, but this makes it useful for larger protocol for gastric ulcers. Okay. Now, do you know the difference, guys, between a virus and a bacteria?
Yes.
I'm going to spell it out for the ones that don't, okay? Because I think there's a lot of confusion on this right now, too.
Right, and I do think, too.
Right.
Also, one thing I wanted to show people was somebody was talking about chaga, that the people who were locked in the apartment buildings that took chaga lived when others died. Okay. And so here's a piece of chaga. This is handcrafted chaga. It comes from birch, as you can see, still attached, birch. It's a fungus that you can use to brew into tea and other things. It's a wonderful medicinal healing herb and mushroom, actually. But usni, somebody was asking, where can you find usni? Now, they do sell just the tincture.
It grows everywhere wild. You don't got to buy this. Just go to your forest.
Yeah, that's what I did. So that's where this came from, just from the forest. But if you
We'll get to where it grows in a moment.
Yeah, you got to be in coniferous areas, but otherwise they do sell tinctures at health food stores and other places.
Now, a bacteria, guys, is a relatively large unicellular organism. Okay.
Okay.
A virus is a microscopic particle that invades living cells. Okay. Now, bacteria can be relatively easy to kill, but viruses are a different matter. When a person has a virus infection, the virus exists within the person's cells. To kill the virus can mean killing your own cells. This can be very problematic. So, we have some amazing herbs that are effective against viruses, and Usnea herb is one of them. It has been shown to be effective against common viral infections such as herpes simplex and Epstein-Barr. Okay. Now, usnea are their own delicate medicinal miracles. They have a special affinity for rebalancing bacteria and eradicating infection throughout the mucous membranes, from mouth to lungs to gut to urinary tract and on. This medicine is a very special gift for those with signs of infection in the lungs and bronchial area, often indicated by yellow or green phlegm, chest pain, difficulty breathing, and sometimes accompanied by fevers. Continuing with the exploration of usnea, as an antimicrobial herb, we can add antifungal to this list. The herb is effective at killing many types of fungal infection, including Canadian species. It can be taken internally as well as used topically. Some examples of fungal infections that you may use usnea for: athlete's foot, jock itch, dandruff, ringworm, vaginal infection. It is possibly worth noting that fungal infections can be especially difficult to get rid of. Generally, diet and other lifestyle considerations will also have to be taken into effect, and other herbs may need to be added for an extensive period of time to fully resolve issues. Now, usnea is also a fantastic choice for wounds. We see it's a powerful antimicrobial herb. Using usnea in wounds can help treat or prevent infection. It also has wound healing abilities that can quicken the healing process. To use it on a wound, you might try it as a powder or herb, or if the wound is not infected, as a salve. Now, according to Stephen Buchaner, usnea is synergistic with clarithromycin, which can increase its effectiveness. Usnea should not be used in pregnancy. You also see warnings about it being toxic, especially in relationship to being toxic for the liver. But the claims come from studies that used only isolated usnic acid and not using the whole plant. Usnea is not particularly water soluble. Many herbalists will claim that in order to get a good alcohol extraction, heat is needed to apply. Of course, heat and alcohol can be a volatile combination. So, do it at your own risk. Tincture dosaging for usnea will vary depending on the reason for use and weight, sensitivity to herbs, etc. But it should be about 60 drops 3 to 4 times daily to 1 teaspoon up to 6 times a day. Usnea herb also works well as a salve. First, powder the herb well, infuse the usnea powder into oil using the hot method. Once the oil is made, it can be prepared into standard salve. For increased antimicrobial capabilities, consider adding OSHA or Oregon grape herb or red cedar, or echinacea or golden seal to the mix. Usnea is commonly used for vaginal infections as well, and it can also be used as a douche by diluting the tincture in water. It certainly is an herb worth keeping on hand. Now, the best way to identify usnea is by taking a moistened strand, gently pull it apart. If it is usnea, you'll see an inner white strand that is very elastic. This inner white strand is the fungus. The green outer covering is the algae. Usnea grows on the trees. It especially likes pine, spruce, juniper, firs, and hardwoods like oak, hickory, walnut, apple, and pear, and it prefers a little bit of a moist habitat.
Nope.
It is also an ubiquitous herb that grows all over the northern hemisphere. It is actually, though, very slow growing lichen, and it can easily be over harvested, so be careful. The best way to ensure sustainable harvesting practices is gather after a windstorm. Take from freshly fallen branches. Another consideration for harvesting is that it can absorb heavy metal. Now, it absorbs heavy metal. So also help you get heavy metals out of your system. So remember that.
Yep.
So always make sure you are getting it from a clean location where it's not going to be tainted by any heavy metals. It's a powerful herb to use for a variety of infections, from topical infections such as fungal infections or staph infections to internal infections like strep and urinary tract. Because it is useful in so many different situations, it's well worth having this around.
Now, is this like something that's edible or something that's like put in?
You have to kind of boil it. What you do is you boil it. You can put it in tincture. You can, so you take like an alcohol or glycerin, and as Red said, you want some heat behind it. So you kind of want to heat it up in a decoction and then bottle it or make tea. And it's kind of spicy, a little bit hard to get down, and it's pretty potent.
Nice. But all right, guys, I'm going to get off of here.
All right, Dwayne. But yeah,
It is my bedtime. I love each and every one of you. And Scarlett, thank you for having me on Clarity After Dark with you. It's always a pleasure.
Well, you are very welcome, Dwayne. Thanks for coming out with us tonight.
All right. Love you, Scarlett. Love you, Red.
Bye, Dwayne. Love ya.
Love you. Bye, guys.
Love you. Bye. So, it is a great, and I found it, just in some areas that I knew were kind of a little bit on the edge of swampy areas I know kind of retain a little bit of water. And even in the middle of winter while there was snow cover, yeah, it was easy to be found here. So
yeah, it's super easy to find here, especially with all the spruce and firs and evergreens and everything that we have up here. I mean, it's drier, but up there in the mountain where the trees are, it's not so much. So it's everywhere here.
Yeah, no, we have quite a bit of it. So, I mean, you just got to go out there and look for it. And once you kind of know what it looks for, and like I said, it kind of hangs off of, as you could see on some of the pieces, it's kind of still on the branch a little bit. So you'll kind of see it like this, where it's kind of growing on a branch somewhere. And then you can take it from there. So, and sometimes you'll find big pieces hanging off of it. You can find large pieces. I didn't find very much, and I had to scrape that together. But I wanted some for what was going on, because a lot of people had been bringing up Usni as a really good option right now. So I thought it was. So.
Oh, yeah, because it fights pneumonia and lung respiratory problems really well.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's another one like OSHA root and this is found just
actually, they say that the best thing, and I'm not, you know what, I am going to say it, probably the best thing for this coronavirus right now on the holistic natural level, other than vitamin C, which they've proven, would probably be the Usnea and OSHA mix.
Yep.
And then taking that for like 2 or 3 days till you've dried your lungs out enough that now you can take the elderberry and echinacea and or golden seal or the mix or however to back up and take care of anything else.
True. Yeah, because you're going to want to take an aggressive approach. Also, things like Arsenicum album is being used, as well as I got a small list of other homeopathy options that are being used.
Oregano oil is another good one.
Yep, oregano oil. Also, sage oil, like I had brought up before, is being
or
used.
Just burning sage, guys.
Yep. But even sage oil, they said, has been going really well.
So note this, people. Burning sage in your house can kill up to 99% of your bacterial germs in the air.
Yep. Yeah, so sage oil is great.
As antifungal and antiviral and antibacterial.
You would just want any type of sage. I mean, white sage. I mean, but any sage.
I highly recommend the red sage because It has been infused with dragon's blood too, which is also highly effective.
Yeah, you can also go, I'm going to pop a link in chat where you can go to get just plain sage oil. It's a great plain sage oil is really powerful. They're saying that it's been tested with patients. So it is something to use if you can get your hands on it. I highly recommend
Or
it.
make your own, guys. It's not that hard.
Well, oil is hard to distill in the essential oil form. You'd need a lot of stage to be able to do that. Now you could make a decoction or tincture, but you wouldn't be able to make essential oil without an actual still. So that's the only thing with that. But you could make a tincture or a decoction, which sometimes is just as good as if you can pull the essential oil out of the plant and have it available, bioavailable to you. So definitely take those into consideration and options. But the sage oil is easy. Eucalyptus, I know you're allergic, but eucalyptus is also another one that they've found.
Tea tree,
Yep, tea tree.
hemp oil.
Yep. Yeah, like the spice sage is the same ones as the sagebrush, Linda. Like it's the same thing.
Right.
And then there's like white sage or red sage or just, regular sage.
Right. And like I said, the red sage is infused with dragon's blood, which also is good for illness, as well as just cleaning the energy. And you'd be surprised at what just cleaning your energy can do in your overall health and wellness.
Yeah, that's true right now. A lot of people need that. Oh, you know what? I had saved. I wonder, can I get to my clipboard here? I even have a clipboard on here. I had found on here on YouTube some binaural beats that had some healing frequencies. It was like 732 hertz to help boost your immune system, help combat sickness, and I think people should use those frequencies right now too while you're sleeping. It's not that hard to turn them on, and then use them while you're sleeping to help regenerate your cells right now. Give some cellular help and support. So, I think we got to start thinking about what we can do to protect ourselves and protect others, because we're getting it to the point where we're going to have to lock down and get into our bug out positions and then see what happens from there. This doesn't look like any other situation. If this was like other types of geopolitical war or other things, we could prepare differently. They've got everybody concerned and scared and kind of just put up with each other. I hope we don't start breaking apart as a country and as humanity, but I could see it happening.
Oh, yeah.
I hope not, but with the way things are going right now, I'm not feeling very confident. I'm trying to find that information about the different homeopathic remedies that people were recommending. Also, fermented pine needle tea. A lot of people say it even tastes better than Sprite, has a flavor of like tangerines. And you can find pine needles and use those, and you take off, a pine tree branch and you break them apart to expose the inner bark, and they have vitamin C, and then you can simmer it and strain it and then leave it in a gallon jar and add some sugar and add a container of kombucha, and you basically make like pine kombucha. And you can only use true pine in the genus pine, but I highly recommend looking into that as well, because a lot of people are going to be looking for alternative drinks, because I'm sure pretty soon liquids are going to be sold out. I can't see that that's not going to be happening. Also, other herbs to consider during coronavirus, astragalus, that comes usually originally from China, but used a lot by Western herbalists. Codopsis root, it's a substitute for ginseng because it's a little bit cheaper. elderberry. Um, so, you know, we want,
Careful with the elderberry though.
yep, like they said, with
You
side
do hot herbs with the elderberry.
right. Also mushrooms like turkey tails or reishi mushrooms, you know, the medicinal mushrooms. Those are all good. Yarrow, chamomile, ginger, cayenne, oregano, and thyme. Thymol is great as well too, that you could use as a cleaner. You could infuse some vinegar with thyme and with fresh thyme and have thymol, which will kill just about anything. Mullein, plantain can be used for dry coughs. Um, Marshmallow, violet can be used. Valerian, lobelia, cramp bark can also be used for dry cough. Stimulating expectorant herbs like our elecampane, um, as well as, you know, a few others. So I mean, there are things that we can use. Let's not be afraid out there, because there are things that we can use that I don't think we need to be afraid of.
Right.
If we have to try to find ways to take control of this disease somewhere. And herbs is one way that we can take control of our situation. We don't have to take their antivirals. We don't have to take the vaccines. I mean, if you want to, go ahead. And if you're that sick, it may need to be done to save your life. But I would rather people try to avoid that by using natural things, which keeps you at home, keeps you less exposed to other things, because you'd hate to catch, you know, COVID and then catch flu on top of it, because people have already. You know, that's the stuff you want to avoid. Is that exact thing right there, is actually catching it and then catching something else because you actually have to even go to the hospital. Or right now, just even getting hurt and having to go to the hospital is dangerous. You could catch it there. Just trying to make sure you're keeping yourself safe. Um, that's one thing I think people aren't thinking about. I'm gonna try to find this dang article. I'm trying to find a, because you know they're trying to hide everything right now that has information about it. Okay, here we go. So homeopathy effective in prevention of coronavirus. Arsenicum album 30 can be used, which I've talked about before, and I've already used that. And I saw another article that said you could use it once a week.
Right.
To try to prevent it. So that's something you guys could use, Arsenicum album. As well as there are some other places that have some interesting combination products. You know, you could use homeoprophylaxis influenzium. And there are some people who have created a coronavirus level homeopathy treatment. They're working on it. Geselmium is also a really good one to use. Baptisia for ongoing low-grade fever, muscular soreness, offensive stools, breath, urine, sweat, feeling of constriction of chest. Eupatorium perliforatum, pains in muscle and bones, can even feel like the bones may break, throbbing headache, thirsty, chest sore, chronic loose cough. Ferrum phosphorica, phosphorus as well, for symptoms threatening to turn into pneumonia. That's when you'd want to use phosphorus. You want to start with the lowest level treatments, you know, like colloidal silver and vitamin D spray and things like that, and then go up to level 4, which are the big guns, like the homeopathy treatments to try then after. So I highly recommend that. You can go to alanfreestone.com, and there's some information about that as well. Even India is telling their citizens to use homeopathy to treat the coronavirus. People know that homeopathy works. It helps your body get ready and be in the oral field to start then your body's defense. So anyone who tells you otherwise, You know, it could even be just a placebo effect. And if that's the case, all right. But at least it's working. At least something is working. So highly recommend that. I'm going to put in the chat what it's called. It's Arsenic album.
Is somebody saying that the holistic stuff doesn't work, or
Somebody was saying that their doctors wouldn't help them with it.
well, most doctors will not help you with the holistic approach because that puts them out of business.
That's true too. If they help you and you're taking your care into your own hands, you don't need to see them. So that is true. Because Red and I both have some chronic illnesses that they claim that we must see doctors for, but we control our own health in our own hands with herbs now. And that's what Big Pharma doesn't like. This is why they're trying to push for this whole coronavirus vaccine to begin with, and getting everybody scared into thinking you must have this to survive this. This is why. You know, they want to have control over our health and feel that they have the answer to make us healthy, when really the answer is returning to our roots, which our roots literally are herbs. Returning to what we once knew, once our grandmothers and our grandmothers' grandmothers, what they used and used well. You know, these remedies are no longer passed down from generation to generation anymore. We're just starting to relearn a lot of these things. But I think we can do a good job, and I think we can at least try. And so one thing that we can say when this is all over, that we at least try to do things to mitigate complete, full, utter takeover of the disease and or the government. But something's going to have to be done. You know, and it's hard to find, you know, homeopathy preparation kits online now. You might have to go to a health food store to find them, but I highly recommend. And they are a little expensive. They're probably $7 to $8 a remedy. But considering what you could go through otherwise, it's kind of cheap. So, I mean, you know, we're sitting here tonight on the precipice of potential martial law here soon. We really need to try to band together and start thinking about what we can do. We're going to be advertising a new Zello group to get people together who want to submit intelligence and who want to submit things that they're seeing in their local area, just so we have an idea of what's happening, so that we could try to keep on top of potential military and other takeovers. I will get you guys more information on that probably this weekend, and we will have that up and running, and when we do, we will let you know. Don't forget that the contest is still going on for the 72-hour kit, where you get the full 72-hour kit. I'm still putting in 2 masks and 2 Santa Claus. So if you do want to participate in that, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, like us on Twitch, DLive, Twitter, and all the other platforms out there that we're on. Send an email to contest@freedomrevolutionnetwork.com, put in the subject line 72-hour kit, and you will get your entry into the contest. We have not got any entries. I'm so surprised. So everybody out there, otherwise we'll just discontinue the contest, but I'd like someone out there to benefit from that. You know, we're doing that, you know, I'm sending it out of my own pocket, so I would like somebody to take advantage. Otherwise, that's okay. I do have some ideas of some people locally that could benefit from it, so otherwise that'll happen. So if anybody wanted to, before we wrap it up tonight, if anybody wanted to call in really quick, I would take a caller before we head out of here. The number is, I don't have it all cutely saved like Mel, where I can just whip it on. It is 929-205-6099. And I will put the ID number in the chat. Again, the number is 929-205-6099. The meeting ID is 238-494-3128. Again, the meeting number is 238-494-3128. So you got to call the number, pop in the meeting ID, and then you can come on live to Clarity After Dark with me, your host, Scarlet Anonymous, and my co-host, Red Gypsy, live on the Freedom Revolution Network. Wonder what they're moving, Irish 43. We've been hearing trains all night. I mean, you know what I mean? Are they pumping, supplies through, or I wonder what it is. It'll be interesting to find out. Those are the type of things we need to pay attention to. So if you guys see anything, email me. Let me know. Say, hey, Scarlett, I just seen this. It's out of the ordinary. And give me your location and where you are. And so we can kind of start making a map of the things we're seeing as lockdown keeps occurring and starts cranking up and getting worse. There's a lot of people who are saying it's a 2-week warning to be in your safe space. There's no more time. You need to keep preparing and fine tune your last preparations, but it seems to be like that's the direction we're going. So let's be ready for that. Let's be prepared. Let's band together. Let's get to know each other. So that way we have a group of people that when we might not be able to trust anyone else out there in this world, we have our EMA family, we have our FRN families to support one another. I think that's super, super important right now. Don't forget the social network over on the website as well. You can sign up. It is just like a Facebook where you can, make friends and start groups and post things and post pictures and memes and all that type of stuff so that we can all stay connected throughout this. We're going to try to stay on air as long as we can, God willing. It seems like with the internet companies supporting free internet, we shouldn't have an issue with communications, but in a state of emergency, you never know if people start rioting. If this is done by design for whatever purpose and they want to, never let a good crisis go to waste, there could be, purposeful riots and purposeful social unrest so that the full crackdown of martial law comes into play. And then what do we do? Do we fight back as patriots or do we allow them to walk all over us because, oh, it's the virus? I don't know. This is putting us between a rock and a hard place. And too many people were not paying attention from the beginning and now are having a hard time catching up. And they're like, I can't believe all this is happening now. I can't believe this. Where was I this whole time? Well, 2 months ago, people were ripping people out of their homes in China. They were tearing families apart. They were locking people up. They were arresting people. People were disappearing. Journalists. Anybody who spoke out about the truth was disappearing. I hope we don't start seeing that here in America, because this is starting to be serious. Whether the virus is real, 5G, this, that, bioweapon, fake, nanovirus, whatever, the response from the government and the response from the people is absolutely unprecedented. It is something like we have never seen before, and all of our lives at this point are in some form of danger. Whether that means that it's not going to return to the way it was, or that we're in danger for other reasons, time will only tell, but we may not have much more time to go. Now, we'll be here every week as we can, God willing, but if something happens, know that we care and we love you guys out there, that, this is why we've been wanting to create groups and try to keep people connected and people to make game plans, because the time is now. The time is now to be connected and have a group of people that you want to depend on. That's for sure. There's no better time.
I just have to say that you people out there buying up all the toilet paper, you're assholes and you're ridiculous.
Yep.
There ain't no reason for that. And all you motherfuckers that apparently are not going to be feeding your pets during this time, screw you guys.
Right? I mean, honestly. I mean, I don't understand. Like, you don't have a pet if you can't take care of it. You just don't.
I'm just saying, out of all the things, there should have been some pet food shortage going on with the amount of everything else missing. Okay, especially where I live. And there was not. Like, it didn't look like anybody had been buying anything for their pets. And, like, what do you think they're going to eat? I mean, maybe, I guess, if you're a douche, they're going to eat you.
True. True.
But I'm just saying, I think that it's ridiculous that y'all be buying some toilet paper, but you can't buy your dog no damn dog food.
Well, that's just it. I mean, you know, but people don't think about what happens when you have an emergency and you didn't think about your pet. You know, I mean,
I don't know. I guess maybe that's part of being like in the lifestyle I live, because that's one of the first things we think about when we're like, oh, massive shutdown. We have to figure out how the goats are getting fed. We have to make sure we have enough hay on hand for a month. We have to make sure that there's water.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a different situation with you, and especially with kidding happening, you know, you got to be extra prepared.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, it's good for the milk and all that, but bad for other reasons too. Everybody's going to have to change their life right now, whether they want to or not. A lot of people are resistant to it right now because they never thought they had to. They were sitting on their couches eating Cheetos and watching Netflix and not thinking about what was happening in the real world. Meanwhile, always wanting to pick on people like us, saying, why are you always concerned with this stuff? It doesn't even like matter. Like, now it does. Everything we have told you since January has been absolutely dead on. We have tried to stay ahead of the curve with everything. I mean, I literally even pulled my kid out, and then the next day, the only district in the state to cancel school is my kid's district. I'm getting serious feelings and energy readings on this situation that just tells me this might be the one that we go into full martial law, tanks, all the shebang, and no one's repelling it. That's what scares me. No one's fighting against it.
Well, because I heard so many people today in the store, like talking amongst themselves, you know?
Right.
Nobody believes it's going to happen. I heard so many people today say, hey, they're going to close everything down. Like they're going to do a national shutdown for like 2 to 4 weeks. They can't do that.
But they can, though. Oh, so we have a caller. Hello, caller. Welcome to Clarity After Dark. Hello, caller.
Hi,
Hi.
this is Irish 43.
Hello, Irish. Welcome. You're in the chat. We were chatting.
Yes.
What talk about tonight?
Yeah, I'm a female. Ron told me I was a male tonight, so yeah, I'm a female.
Oh, well, see, I wasn't there with Ron, but you know, sometimes with like a screen name like that, I could understand maybe why you wouldn't know male or female, you know. It's kind of an ambiguous.
Yeah. Yeah, I live in northern Indiana, and like I said, I have a train track near my area, and I swear I was hearing trains every half an hour, and normally we only have trains every 3 to 4 hours apart. So something's going on. We do have a lot of industry in my area, a lot of car dealers, you know, car manufacturers and so forth, and some other different things. But I'm not, like I said, this is weird. I'd never heard this many you know, at one time.
Well, and see, and that's what makes me, like I said in the chat, I wonder what they're actually moving. Are they moving goods? Are they moving oil? You know, what is it?
Well, I know we have a thing that does corn oil in my area, so I don't know if that's what they're moving or what.
Could be. I know a lot of our grain and things move by rail, so maybe it could be that.
Yeah, but every 3 hours. I mean, normally it was every 3 hours because I lay in my room and I can hear them because I'm close enough to the tracks.
Right. Yeah, see, so and that's something that we would want to watch too is, train activities. Is that, uptick? People last week had seen military vehicles and convoys going through,
Right.
These
last week.
Oh, go ahead.
Last week we had the military thing that went by here. I had the 2 military helicopters on the San de Cristo mountain range, 2 on the opposite side of them, which is a 45-mile split between them, and then 3 jets flying in between them directly over me, all in a line, not passing each other. This is a formation that I have never seen here.
I've seen it.
Yeah, Red is in the mountains and in an area where I've seen some of the scariest situations of my life with some jets going straight over your head and live with tipped missiles and sonic booms, and some strange things can happen. She's not too far from Cheyenne Mountain. And the Air Force Academy in Springs. Takes about maybe 20 seconds.
Yeah, man, I had to drive by that crap every damn day for I can't tell you how long, and it's scary. It's scary because you got to drive by there and you got to know what's going on in the state of the world right now, and you're just praying some Resident Evil stuff ain't going to come popping out of there.
Right. At this point, we don't know. I mean, but I think troop movements, helicopter movements, all important. We're even, besides that, we're even getting some interesting Earth activity as well. 8 buoys went into event mode today. And we don't know
that.
how. Right. So are we going to potentially see a large earthquake coming? Did the pressure shift? So then now we're not maybe going to see as much because of that. What was that the buoys picked up over 8,000 miles apart, where 8 buoys simultaneously all go into event mode? That's about the last thing we need on top of this is some type of natural earth disaster.
Yeah.
That will pull it over the edge. If we really want to go into, martial law, let a large earthquake or something, or Cascadia, or, and I hate to throw these things out here, but while we're in a state of emergency, we've talked about the things that could happen if the natural disaster triggers the state of emergency, but we've never talked about what occurs if we're already in a national state of emergency and a natural disaster happens. That's a dangerous precedent.
It is.
I agree.
Because they're going to have the total control. People are already bending over to be like, oh yeah, lock us down, close everything, it's fine. Is it? Are they just asking us? Are they asking for our demise right now? I get the quarantining for this, but now, like I said, Dr. Anthony Fauci is talking about months. There's no way we could shut down for months.
No.
There's no way.
But 2 weeks? Yeah.
2 weeks, yeah. But he's talking at least 2 months with today, earlier, with the, and what I screen shared as well. The pandemonium that will ensue if it even goes longer than 2 weeks, I call pandemonium. People are not going to play ball. How do you stop all the drug dealers on the corner and all the nefarious activity that happens? You just gonna say, oh, quarantine. I don't think so. America has a lot of things that runs at 24 hours that I don't think that this will stop. And if we are this state of emergency and they start to try to curb these people and they start to try to fight back, we could have like a civil war over just the quarantine alone in some of these urban areas. Looting.
I can see it happening in my area.
Yeah. And I mean, just looting and everything else. I mean, people already are without items at the store and people are being nice. They're waiting in line and they're doing this and that. But if these places don't get replenished, what's going to happen in the next days to weeks?
Right.
Sheer pandemonium. I'm very concerned. I'm just, I'm sick at this time. There's so many things happening so rapidly at once. You can't even remember everything that's happened in a day with coronavirus now, because it's literally as soon as you follow one thing, the next thing's closing, the next big thing's happening, the next big thing's happening. You can't even stay on top.
You can't.
No. Watching this has been the unraveling of potentially the American fabric. But what we do, the positive thing about this though, is we have a chance to rebuild and make it what we want to see. If this keeps us in an extended period like this, we can change how we're doing things. We can show people how easy it is to come together and share and be there for groups. And there is a redeeming quality out of all this. Families will have more family time and maybe have to work out problems, but it also could cause more issues, more murders, more, domestic violence and assault because people are stuck in together. There could be a lot of socioeconomic impacts besides just monetary factors of people being concerned. Can they pay their bills? Can they make ends meet? I hope we get some type of relief package for Americans, because otherwise this is going to devastate us for a decade to come.
It's going to hurt me because I'm on SSI and I only get so much. And so I've been trying to prep like crazy once you guys started saying things and I started, hearing about what was going on. And so I've been trying to prep and everything that I can get extra. I've been trying to work up, freeze, do whatever I could do.
Yeah.
Here in my state. And I've been living off of the pantry. I'm lucky I can go to a pantry 5 days a week if I want to.
Oh, that's nice. See,
which is very nice, yes.
I told people back in January and early February too, if you don't have extra money, go to a food shelf and pantry to try to get some of these extra things before things happen, because, look now, you can't even get anything. And Ron and I are also in the same boat as you. And so, you only get really once a month to kind of make that push to get things that you need. So I know a lot of other people are in the same boat right now, really struggling. Because you don't get enough and you don't get enough time and you can only do so much with what you get, and you still got to make sure you survive otherwise. That's why
I'm taking care of 4 adults.
Yeah.
Myself included.
Right. That's why preparation is hard for most people, because you have to survive, but then add on top of to what you've already been doing. Right. And so
right.
A lot of people aren't prepped up, to the way that they feel sufficient. I hope this teaches people after this to have always a little extra on hand. I really hope we get out of this. But, a lot of chatter that's been going on is saying potentially otherwise. The chatter so far with COVID-19, more often than not, has not been wrong, unfortunately. I'm surprised there's not a lot more disinformation than there is.
Right.
That's the one thing I can say. Usually we get tons and tons and tons of disinformation, but with the information that's been coming out of China, it's been pretty solid. And then a couple weeks later, they confirm what we were talking about a few weeks previous. How many weeks ago were we talking about that this could live on surfaces for absolute days? Now they say, lives on surfaces for days.
Well, I'm also lucky that I grew up in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, pre-internet days, and we lived in the country. We lived on a farm. My grandparents had a dairy farm, So I grew up drinking raw milk, and my grandmother did a garden, and it fed 4 families regularly. So I helped my mom, always, every summer I helped my mom, work up work up vegetables. And so I know how to do it. And I'm a baker by trade. My sister is good at cutting meat. She's, a meat cutter. We both worked in a grocery store, so we've grown up doing this kind of stuff. So I've learned, over my lifetime how to do it.
Right. Which is wonderful. And a lot of people have those same skills, to be able to fend for themselves. But these are the things we're going to have to return to. Red and I were talking about it before we got on air, all these people buying these random foods. What are they going to make with that that's actually nutritious? People needed to think about the things that they like to eat and comfort things, because I see a lot of people will probably be getting angry and distraught and despaired too, because they really didn't buy things that they would eat. And your body doesn't do necessarily well when you start putting things in that you aren't usually eating on a daily basis.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I mean, they even tell you, with things like My Patriot Supply and their foods, they say, like, if you get like a year's supply and plan on using this as your source of food, to start eating some of the meals, because your body needs to get acclimated to eating those types of dishes and eating that type of composition of food that's either freeze-dried or dehydrated. I don't think people think about, what that could do to our digestive tracts and systems, and, just reducing our gut flora, eating all this potentially processed packaged food. I mean, are they trying to get everyone sick by pushing them all into the stores, buying processed packaged food, and then their immune systems are already lowered because of standard American diet, and it just continues because of this?
That's so true. Like I said, I'm trying to eat, a decent, healthy meal as much as I can. It's kind of hard because I'm, unlimited funds and trying to feed 4 adults, and not everybody eats the same thing in my house. And, I've got, a sister who's, kind of fighting me a little bit for some of this, but that's just the way that life is.
Isn't it? And so,
but I also have Amish background too, so we've learned how to be strappers.
Right. So many people are fighting right now in their families, and just breaking connections. And what I say to people for that is, it's okay at this time if people want to break away, and I get that we care about people, and I get that we want to have the best for them, right? But on the same breath, you can only give up so much energy at this point. And I'm pulling up a meme that I saw earlier that I think kind of just solidifies what that feeling really is, which is like, oh, did I not save it? I don't know. Oh, here we go. You're not going to wake anybody up anymore. We're basically at endgame. There are things that are about to happen that's going to start freaking the shit out of people. Back away from trying to wake them up. They're comfortably asleep. They're where they want to be. And unfortunate as it is, when the shit does hit the fan, they're going to look around and say, why didn't somebody say something? My job is to wake people up. And I'll be telling people till the end of time. You need to understand these things. But we're getting to the point where we don't have time to catch people up. Can you even make a Cliff Notes version of people who haven't been paying attention till now? It's hard enough to keep up, even watching shows like this daily or weekly or monthly, let alone try to catch up the average American population who has no idea any of these nefarious things have been going on in the background, to now catch them up to, we're on the cusp of martial law.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get off with you guys, and it's been a blast.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for calling in to Clarity After Dark. We appreciate you.
All right. God bless. Bye-bye. Much love.
Yeah, much love to everybody out there.
So just to wrap up tonight, because I think this is where we'll kind of leave it. Oh, did we get somebody else? Nope, that was it. We're at a time where our actions are going to matter. The way we treat each other, the way we respond to this is going to matter. And you can either be remembered for this time for doing something that was positive and mean something, or you can spend this time creating chaos and discord and disregard for fellow man and human being. Not that if you're not presented in that situation, you should defend yourself, but I think people need to take a kinder tone right now. There's a lot of anger, there's a lot of tension, there's a lot of unknown. And there is a lot of fear, to be honest. You know, even with a lot of us right now, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know 2 weeks from now, are we going to be completely quarantined as Americans and be in throes of martial law where we have National Guard in cities and places that have cases, protecting buildings and protecting neighborhoods and patrolling, and people have to check in to even leave. And will the draconian takeover occur? And you know, there's a lot of theories on why that's happening. Oh, it's Q, it's the Great Awakening, trust the plan. Are they telling you to trust the plan until they lock you up like a sheep? I really need people to think about that right now. We need to think about all the stops that could be pulled out, all the tricks, all the psyops, because that's what we're up against right now. You know, as Alex Jones always said, it's an info war and there's a war out for your mind. And they're doing a good job. If I were the elites right now watching everybody run around like little roaches, only buying, you know, toilet paper and not buying things that actually benefit them, oh, I'd be so happy. I'd be like, oh, these people aren't even prepared. They don't even know what's about to hit them. They're not ready for this. I really do feel like that's where we're at. You know, Bill Gates stepping down and you know, a bunch of other CEOs stepped down recently, like Disney and I can't think of the other companies, but there was like 6, 7, 8 companies like in the last month who have all stepped down. Why? Did they know that this global kind of shutdown, this global revamp would be taking out their businesses to a point where it's unmanageable? And so they decided to cut their losses early. I think so. You know, it's kind of like insider trading. When you have inside baseball knowledge, you make moves. I see that right now. And I would like to work on in the next few days ways that we can stay together and try to hook up people in local areas to just try to make sure that we keep an eye out on one another. It's our only way that we have. Otherwise, we're every man for themselves. And
Right.
This is a dangerous time to be alone.
True.
I mean, it's all rough. Oh, hey, Ron. What's up, Ron? How you doing, Ron? Ron's in the chat. So, I mean, I'm sick for words. Yeah, we are going to do that, Ron, this week to get everybody connected and hooked up. We'll show them how to sign up on the social network and do all that. Because we got to find or get on Zello with us. Our Zello channel is, love you too, Ron. I got right, TLO. Me and TLO are in the same area, so we got this. We got to hook up with our people. That's only going to help us watch these things come in a safe way.
Oh,
safety.
So when I told you that I had to get baby wipes, I guess I was wrong. I didn't get baby wipes.
Oh, what'd you get?
They are called Aveeno Sensitive All Over Wipes.
Oh, okay.
They're fragrance-free, alcohol-free, phenol-oxethanol-free, hyperallergenic, 99% naturally derived formula. oat extract and aloe. But these dang things, they give me 64 wipes. They were $5.
Oh, like 64 Huggies are like $2 in comparison.
Yeah, man.
That's rough, dude.
And again, I'm not selfish, y'all. I buy these. I buy baby wipes because we're off grid, so we use them in between showers for our faces and stuff. So this isn't something like I went out and bought because I couldn't get something else. It's something that I buy every week that they didn't have.
Right. Ron says to God bless you, Red.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but it is the stuff, like, you can't even get the things you want anymore. You know, and I get beggars can't be choosers, but I never thought there would be a time where you couldn't go to the store and pick out the paper towels you wanted, or the toilet paper you wanted, or the pack of noodles that you wanted, or the spaghetti sauce that you wanted. And here we are. We've always talked about this. You know, what if this happens? What are you going to do? How are you prepared? Do you have food to survive? And I
wanted better food, G.
Man, like, I would have, like, I mean, I feel like I got some pretty decent food. Like, I even got a Wagyu steak at the store, so I feel like that was a pretty good score. But not everything was there. I mean, you know, you don't just, it shows how our American experience can change within the blink of an eye.
Right.
You know, we never thought a week ago we would be here, because a week ago we really didn't even have that many cases, but we knew it was going to be slow trickle down.
Right.
Yeah, negotiator just said in the chat, the majority of Americans are overweight. One heck of a way to start the diet. And yeah, people are going to be, and some people are going to be hangry because of it. You know, I'm concerned for a lot of the extreme obese people who eat lots in volume. What are those people going to do? They're going to be, like I said, very upset. And
hey, you know who's not going to be affected?
Ooh.
The Aerotherians.
Oh, yeah, the breatharians.
Yeah, breatharians, Aerotherians, whatever the freak you want to call them. Because they don't need nothing but air, right?
Exactly. Yeah, they just breathe air. That's true.
So they good.
Yep.
But that about the only one.
Well, and we're wondering about blackouts and things like that too. Ron just brought up, rumor has it that the powers that be are going to shut down the internet in the coming days for 10 days, which is possible. And if they do, I'm going to expect roundups.
Right.
If they shut off the power or the internet, expect roundups. Whoever they're going to go round up, I do not know. Could be us. So that's why I'm saying in these next few days and weeks, we need to be hyper vigilant, heads on a swivel, everybody get everybody else's six, AKA back. And we need to stay on top of it. You know, they're giving everybody free internet. They're saying we're not going to cut you off. They're doing all these things, but it will be sheer pandemonium and riots if they shut off the internet. Remember when, like, the internet wasn't even working for, like, Facebook for a few hours and everybody lost their minds? You know, this is going to be terrible. Absolutely terrible. I'm just concerned for everybody's futures. You know, I just want us all to make it through this and to continue to put out the news, continue to keep people accountable, continue to try to change our world for the better and create, you know, new greatness out of this. Like I said, we have an opportunity to change things and make things better. And we have the chance right now to shift the energy and shift people's minds and hearts. And so while other people are hoarding toilet paper, let's start trying to send that energy and mind thoughts that people are going to shift their attitudes and activities, and they're going to change and be different and see the corruption and awaken to what's been planted right before them. Let's hope for that. Because otherwise, the alternative, you guys, I don't want to think about. I mean, seriously. I don't want to think about that. That is the nuclear option. And turning against each other and turning into a full-blown civil guerrilla war, I don't think is the answer. Not especially when something like the disease is spreading. But how do we still maintain our rights without allowing them to take completely over and then never release the grip once they like how it feels to be in control of us? That's my only concern at this point. The best way I can explain it. You know, tonight is like I said, a historical night. Something that we've never seen. I never thought I would see in my lifetime. We've theorized about it, but here we are. You know, on the night of state of emergency being called over the United States. Last time this was issued was September 14th, 2001. This is now considered a war against coronavirus at this point. We're taking measures we only take in non-peacetime. Does that turn into a war on we the people? That is yet to be seen. That's what we need to find out. That's what we need to stay on top of. Any last ideas or thoughts or comments you'd like to make, Red?
You know, guys, just be smart. Don't be loving. Think of others, not just yourself.
Right. Yeah, share if you can. If you know there's a need, try to fill the gap.
Right?
You know, this is not just a regular flu. You know, when we just looked up on worldometers.info, we have a 7% death rate. Flu doesn't have a 7% death rate.
Right.
Not even close. It has 1.2% death rate.
Right.
And 0.8 for more seasonal flu, 1.2 for like H1N1, and, you know, like 1.8 for the Spanish flu, which, okay, we'll get into semantics because that's basically the same thing. But to have a death rate of 7%, like the estimation claims, we're going to see millions of Americans die.
Right.
And I think that's when it's going to start getting real to people. People are going to then start, why aren't you doing anything? Why aren't you helping our families? You guys didn't
Right.
want anything a month ago. So I'm really concerned as this starts hitting for all of our psyches. We've, you know, other countries have went through dead bodies on the street, dead bodies around them, these things. We're not used to that.
Right.
And the way that we've been fostering the snowflake culture, can the mental psyches of Americans handle it?
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah. When you've got people, you know, I mean, can they even handle it, or does this blow their mind and put them in complete shock from day one and they can't even speak? Because these are going to be things of the likes we've never seen, and they don't even know how to handle regular life, let alone the next level.
Right.
I'm very concerned for those people. Very concerned. Yeah, and shortwave radios are great. Ham radios are great. Maybe this weekend I will go over a few things for like ham radio for dummies, and we'll come on and we'll talk about that. Show a simple Pofung radio, what they can do. You would be able to get in contact with. This might be important. This might be our only ways that we're connected.
Right.
If they decide to cut the internet, be ready for just straight martial law pandemonium civil war. No one's going to tolerate quarantine and cutting off their connection.
But then again, that brings up an interesting point, right? Because where are all of these quarantine people?
Right.
Why are they not on social media? How come we're not hearing from them?
Where are they? Where are they? Exactly.
Because like you said, people are going to die. Not literally, but you know what I mean. They're going to feel like they're dying without internet. So the internet's not cutting out. They're talking about all these people that are under quarantine, both at their own homes and in the hospitals. How's come we're not hearing from any of them?
Yeah, you'd think somebody would be trying to make like the, coronavirus blog. You know what I mean? Like where is that person?
Yeah.
So it's just very concerning.
I have questions. I'm just saying it.
Right. So with that being said, I think we're going to wrap it up here tonight. It's getting late. I'm coming into the morning hours. I appreciate every one of you guys being here with us for Clarity After Dark. We'll be here anytime breaking news breaks. We might start breaking in more for more stories as things start happening, just to start keeping on top of it a little bit more than we already do. We might start having at least a daily coronavirus briefing. Maybe we'll do it at like 10 p.m. like Central or something like that every night, and start just trying to state of the union type updates, intelligence reports. We need to start staying on top of this. This is something that we cannot drop the ball. We cannot just act like we need to be complacent or something might not happen at this point.
Right.
So with that being said, tune in together with all of us tomorrow. Ron will be on with Emergency Management Associates. Tune in for that, and as well as Sunday. Are we going to be back for Journey into Freedom?
What?
Are we going to be back Sunday for Journey into Freedom?
Hopefully.
Okay, so that's a maybe. So we don't know. We may be here. We may not be here.
It's a hopeful.
It's a hopeful maybe. So that's good. Ron will be here. Otherwise, I'll try to do just a little update, regardless, after the farm. So be kind, you guys. Eyes open though. Stay alert. Stay aware. Be on top of things. Be kinder to people. Maybe just sending out that, if you see somebody grumpy right now, just pop a smile. Maybe that will help them get out of that funk energy. Something is going on energetically, and there's some type of shift going on in the planet. And it's also happening physically, because obviously these buoys going off are showing some type of physical shift. And, a few days before this, I've been just having terrible, terrible headaches. So something is shifting right now, and we need to stay on top of the curve before something could swallow us all up. And I don't know what that could be, but at this point, we never expected everything, in our lives to be closed either. So we got to be prepared for anything. Absolutely. Thank you, TLO and Negotiator and Linda and Irish 43 and Marshall in the chat. We appreciate you guys all there, and especially Puka and Pam and everybody else out there. We appreciate all of you guys for coming in the chat, spending time with us on your Friday night and on the Freedom Revolution Network. If you like what we do, please think about donating to the Freedom Revolution Network. We can't do it without all of you and you powering our shows. We are a viewer-powered network. So thank you so much for being here with us tonight. From the land of 10,000 lakes and from the highest desert valley in the great American Southwest, Red.
Dare to be different, dare to be you, and dare to learn to love yourself unconditionally.
Good night, universe.